Park Cricket Club at the famed Queen's Park Oval. We're getting ready for the first T20 International between India and Trinidad and Tobago. And this is expected to be the first of 3 games, but we hope are highly competitive, no doubt. We have a little bit of a departure, but let me just introduce the principals here. Devian Adams, of course, the captain of the Trinidad and Tobago team, and Virender Singh, the captain of the India team. And they will do a presentation. So go ahead and do your presentation. Trinidad and Tobago to India. Marking the first T20 International Deaf Cricket match to be played on Caribbean soil. A special moment indeed. Clive Gaskin is the third umpire, and he will conduct the toss. They do another presentation, so this will be an Indian shirt, a commemorative shirt to the Trinidad and Tobago team. Congrats again to both teams. Now we can have Mr. Gaskin conduct the coin toss. Heads, tails.
Tails, India.
Head it is. What are you going to do? So, Trinidad and Tobago won the toss, so you're going to bowl first?
Yeah.
Why? Why you want to bowl first?
Because I want to get it, because I know how I bowl out, I know all my bowl out, my spin out, so I want to take on an in-depth bowling because it has some bouncing and team.
Okay. What about the unity in the camp? Is it still strong despite the loss in the first game?
Yeah, we stay strong, but we're not giving up at all. So we want to put on that fight after that in the T20, I want to go forward.
All right, well, all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
So there you see there from the winning captain, and of course we have Mr. Singh here with us. How do you feel now? You be in the field first up. You happy with that?
Yes, I'm very happy today because we also want to take the first batting because I checked my all bowlers and today I want to check my all batsmen. It's India team is a very strong, so I have no problem for taking batting or bowling.
Okay, and how you feel? You have a win under your belt. I'm sure that must be a good thing.
It's a match. Let's see who will win the match, Trinidad and Tobago or India. But I saw the very skilled person and skills the game, and whole team have done very well in confidence.
Okay, and how you feel about this format? Do you think you're stronger in this format or in the one-day game?
Both are one day and T20 also I have the strong because I am the skilled person and also team members have the very strong bowling and batsman, so I have no any problem. Both format I have the strong.
Okay, well, can go well in this game. So that's the situation here. Trinidad and Tobago, they have won the toss, and they will of course bowl first.
Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation.
So yeah, you just had it, folks. The toss is out of the way. The weather is what we are most concerned about right now. If the conditions will hold and allow them to get a full 20 over the side in here, or if not, at least let them get some kind of significant play. And we do get a result here this evening. Remember, India have already won the first match of this series, the lone one-day international that was played on Sunday, and they won that convincingly as well. And here they are today, looking to continue their winning ways against Trinidad and Tobago team that will be hoping to turn the tables. And as happened for the last 10 minutes or so, Billy, every time they're about to get started, we have a little drizzle. And it's more of the same here with Trinidad winning the toss, upped into field first, but I'm not sure if they'll get an opportunity, at least not just yet.
Hello to all our viewers and welcome to the Queen's Park Oval. It is currently drizzling. It's been a stop and start in terms of the rainfall, Ruskin Mark, and the two familiar faces of umpires Avinash Narayan and Ryan John are out there in the middle. And it's been a painstaking effort, not just from the ground staff, but the umpires as well, to determine when are we going to start, are we going to start, and as on Sunday, if we do have to have a reduction of overs, how long do we wait before we try to get a start or a restart going here in Port of Spain? And it is cloudy all around Port of Spain, so it's just some truncated periods of no rain. There has been absolutely no sunshine here from around 12 o'clock or so. So it's been predominantly overcast, and the umpires are out in the middle. The batsmen are on the verge, on the boundary edge, waiting to come out. But with that little bit of drizzle, and Ruskin, typically if rain is falling, there will not be a commencement of play.
But again, it has subsided sufficiently now, so the umpires are, in fact, the umpires are trying to get the players out onto the field. And so it looks like they, I suppose, aided and abetted by the two openers because they seemed like they were more than ready to come out and to get things started. So the Trinidad and Tobago players, to their credit, they were ready to come out, but then when they saw the drizzle, they kind of went back in, and but now they're heading out once again, led by the captain uh, Devian Adams. So we're almost ready to go, folks. We're keeping our fingers crossed that we will get significant play in this one. It's only 20 overs aside, but given like what Ken Billy was saying, the amount of stop starter we've had, we anticipate that throughout the day, that might very well be the order of things here this afternoon. So 20 overs aside, and Trinidad and Tobago looking Billy to rebound from their maybe they just had to get the nerves out of the system, playing together as a team in a competitive environment like this one is. And sometimes, sometimes we forget that they're humans. This is a big occasion for them. They might have been nervous, a number of them, and it showed in the way some of them actually batted and bowled. So maybe with that out of the system, now they can probably just show more of what they're capable of.
Absolutely. And the Trinidad lineup, the captain, Devon Adams, he was the most nervous out of all the players opening the batting on Sunday. First up, taking first strike, Valdano Tobias, Nicholas Mohammed, the top scorer on Sunday with 22, Jamel Bonio, Orion Mohammed, Shemuel Cardigan, the vice captain and the wicketkeeper, Jason Jokan, Amir Budu, Christopher Guman Singh, Joel Lord, Rohan Subdan. Coming into the team is Rohan Subdan, and going out today from that team on Sunday, the two changes, Joel Piper and Naira Noel coming out, dropping out of the team for this T20 affair.
Yeah, so they certainly would be hoping that both teams really would be hoping that they could get some kind of make an early impact here, get an early wicket or two, and try and see if they could push on from there. And that's from the Trinidad and Tobago standpoint. From the India standpoint, they'll be hoping for more of the same if they can really build a big partnership here today as well. And it looks as if it's going to be Nicholas Mohammed, who will open the bowling.
The off-break bowler had a good knock on Sunday, and the only guy to hit a couple boundaries in the inning, just one other boundary coming from the captain, Devon Adams. And full of confidence now is the young man to open the bowling from the pavilion in.
So we bowling to Sai Akash. Short ball, and really got away with that one there because he was looking to hammer that through the offside. Remember, there's nobody out on the offside, so all he had to do was either pierce the gap or get it over the inner ring.
I would say Akash was very adventurous batting on Sunday, 32, and made light work of chasing down the total of 50 with his opening partner on that occasion was Akash Singh. Has a new opening partner here today, Santosh Mohapatra for the T20.
Driven nicely, and immediately they're off and running here, India. And this is I suppose the big question is what kind of total can India post in this game? We saw them play some exquisite sort of conventional cricketing shots without taking any undue risk, and they were scoring quickly on that occasion. So it would be interesting now to see how they do in this format where they obviously would come with an aggressive mindset.
Yeah, most definitely. They look quite accomplished. Just the two opening batsmen on Sunday. Hence, they were at the top of the order. And for the first time, we're going to see Santosh Mohapatra, see what he is capable of. He has facing up with 5 men on the ring on the offside. No slip.
And again, just pushing the ball around. They're not trying to be overly aggressive at the moment.
Just a bit of a half chance there. Ruskin popped
Yeah.
back in the air to his right. He didn't go for the catch, but it was in the air.
And I think we always have to remind ourselves that some of the degrees of deafness or hearing impairment that allows them. And there's a bad miss. That one went right through his grasp, but he did well in the end to sort of pull it back. Or did he? He seemed to have it covered, and then all of a sudden the ball just eluded his left hand, and he had to chase after it. But the umpire says 4 runs, so it might have just touched the rope.
Yeah, it did seem that either it touched the rope or he was over the rope, Lord, when the ball was in his hand with a desperate effort to haul it back in after the misfield. It was a straightforward fielding opportunity. Look at it here again. It did hit the
Yeah,
rope.
it hit the ropes. Yeah.
Everything hit the rope.
Again, a nice line here, good length. Mohammed pitching on a pretty good line. Now, it's also the kind of line that if the batsman decide to go after it, will be able to get under it to some degree. So it's a that's a line and that's a length. He's bowling a full length that could so easily you could get under it and maybe elevate.
So 7 runs after the first over. Good start here from India, although a bit fortuitous with a bit of a misfield on the boundary edge. The field was set and in the right areas with a long on in place and a deep mid wicket. And the two batters out there just maneuvering the ball around, rotating the strike, and then getting to a boundary with the misfield, and they would welcome the runs. And off to a good start here. Sai Akash, 6 runs to his credit after 5 deliveries, and he is going to be facing up. And he, swashbuckling opening batsman, the ball to all parts of the ground on Sunday and quite accomplished on the onside as well as the offside. His ability to go in the air as well. He's going to have to face up to Joel Law, the opening fast bowler for the Trinidad and Tobago team.
Yeah, so it gives him an opportunity here quickly to put things in place. And Amir Budu is the one who is going to pick up the attack.
Budu, the left-handed opening fast bowler. Into the onside by Sai Akash. He opened the bowling from Buru from the southern end on Sunday, with Joel Lord opening from the northern end, and on this occasion opting to change ends. Yes, Buru?
Yeah, and I remember back in the day when you used to be happy to bowl from the top end, because most times you're running uphill from the southern end or the pavilion end, and so it used to be a bit of an uphill task, and you used to get the bowl at the northern end based on seniority.
So Courtney Walsh used to unfortunately in his day have to go up the hill.
That's in the air, and he takes the catch. Brilliantly done indeed. Well, he turned the bat a little too soon there, Mohapatra, and he has to go. Brilliant catch.
Yeah, and you were mentioning about going up the hill and up in the air, and that one, it just popped up in the air. He was on his follow through and had to stop and turn, and so casually decided that he was going to take it with his left hand, his stronger hand, and one-handedly. Look at it there again,
Yes.
turning the bat face, taking the leading edge.
And what a good catch. He timed it well because he could so easily have misjudged that ball going over his shoulder. And but he kept his eyes on it, and he put the hand up there and it stuck in the hand. And that was a stronger hand because he took it with his left hand. And certainly a very good breakthrough for Trinidad and Tobago. So Budu getting the wicket with only his second ball of the innings.
So a change in the batting lineup from Sunday. Akash Singh, who opened the batting with Sai Akash on that occasion, he is left out of the 11. So it meant that a change at the top of the order with Santosh Mohapatra opening the innings with Sai Akash and Trinidad and Tobago. And they would be licking their lips now with having gotten a wicket early on in the piece.
Yes, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Trinidad and Tobago team, that they could come and put, basically establish themselves. Gowda, Krishna Gowda is the new batsman.
So second delivery, he's gotten a wicket. He's now going to bowl to the new batsman, new to the team, new to the 11.
It's a peach of a delivery, just touching down, and you could see it moving away.
Just wondering if he can hold that line, and a little bit of nerves from Krishna Gowda. Would the Captain Adams be tempted to put a first slip in? There is a deep mid wicket and a long on in place, the two out in the deep. Haven't just taken a wicket, might just want to put a little bit of pressure on them.
Pitching up again, and good bit of fielding, good work to his own bowling. Not a bad shot also, but excellent fielding. And they always say if you can't field to your own bowling, well then something is wrong.
Have a look at it there. Stays left again. Driven straight back.
Pitching up, and but he's doing the smart thing. But to take the single though, on the move immediately on playing the shot, and able to. So he's off the mark. Gouda.
Yeah, he would be happy to get his account going on the tour to Trinidad and Tobago. We see Buru just shaking the left hand after fielding that drive. Still feeling the impact.
Flicked away nicely. There is a man out in the deep, but I don't think he's going to get there. That goes a lot squarer than where he was at mid wicket. That goes just behind square, and a nice boundary there. Full toss, just took it up and flicked it away down behind square for 4 good-looking runs.
Yeah, this is where the Trinidad and Tobago team are going to have to be very, very careful. You have to try and control the things that you can control, and he needs to maintain his line and length, because certainly what we've seen from Sunday, this Indian batting lineup are going to be very quick to pounce on anything that is loose. So fishing off the over there with a badly lined delivery, Guman Singh was not going to get across from the deep mid-wicket boundary, cut that one off, and conceding a boundary in each of the first two opening overs, the Trinidad and Tobago team.
Yeah, 13 for 1 at the end of over number 2. So just checking to make sure that everything is a-okay. And Mohammed will try again. Again, wide outside that off time. They're playing a miss there, but certainly he had room to swing there. He had a full swing of that.
Yeah, and the fielders on the offside. There's no slip. There's a short third man, a point, cover, extra cover, and a mid off. So if he could get some bat onto that and try and find the gap on the offside, he could be in for some runs here. Mohammed with 2 men out in the deep with 4 on the onside. You want to try and keep tight line on the off stump.
Again, Gowda just flirting with danger outside that off stump there. He's just trying to have a little dab at the ball. And relentless Mohammed, when he delivers the ball, he almost does like a windmill before he delivers the ball.
I was trying to come up with a way to describe the bowling action. It hadn't quite come to me yet,
He
Ruskin.
does a kind of windmill before he delivers the ball. You know, that's a beauty. Just a little bit of a hint of turn and beating him outside the off stump there. That's a good line. He's a little bit susceptible there outside that off stump.
Getting some turn as well. So almost a perfect delivery for the off spinner.
Again, they're gonna have to hurry here, and they decide against releasing it there. That was Voodoo flying coming in there, and opting to not release the ball.
I don't quite understand why he wouldn't take the throw. Just play it straight to him. You have to try and put the batsman under pressure. Let them know that you will get a good throw in, even if he's going to be safe in. You want to show that you don't want to be taking. Send a message to the batsman. You don't want them to be taking chances to you.
There they go again. They're gonna take the run. No, not this time. And look at how quickly he released the ball. He was down on all fours there, and had to release it, but which he did. Jokan, Jason Jokan.
Excellent fielding there. And that is the message you want to send to the batsman, that you will rifle that throw in. Voodoo did have backup on the onside, and the keeper was ready to take the throw. You've got to get that throw in, as Jokan showed in that occasion.
This time in the air, the catch is taken, brilliantly done indeed, and then he goes for a little run. Celebration time for Trinidad and Tobago. The big fella coming up with a splendid catch indeed, and look at how much it means to them.
An excellent catch there.
Bonio.
Bonio, yeah, it seems as though he even surprised himself. It was coming to him relatively quickly. It was in the air to his right, and the field was set, and trying to penetrate the gap there is the opener, Sai Akash, and that is a very big wicket indeed. As we look at it here again, a good delivery again from Mohammed, keeping the pressure, getting some turn as well, and an excellent catch. Now, Ruskin, that ball might just be a tad bit wet with the wet outfield, so he did quite well to hold on to it, get to it, and hold on to it with both hands.
Yeah, that's a brilliant catch. Listen, cricket at any level, and you take a catch like that, you'd be very, very happy indeed. And you could see the celebration on his face there. Even in the stands, the spectators, they enjoy that as well. Well, of course, they have somebody whipping them up there, giving them a little jumbo effect. The wave, there he is, just having them stirring.
Yeah, it's the method of clapping, waving the hands. There's no need for sound with the clapping, so they wave their hands up in the air. The sign language for cheering, and encouraged on by the fielders, encouraging the fans to cheer. This is a bit of a reverse where the fans cheer the fielders on. But an excellent catch there, and 2 for 14, and a big pull of wickets there for the Trinidad and Tobago team.
Yeah, that's really those are 2 good catches so far to get rid of those 2 wickets. That's a good delivery, but well played again. Into the gap it goes, and that's 4 runs. Nicely timed there by Gowda.
And Ruskin with he's held up predominantly a line predominantly outside of the off stump, on or about the off stump. And there are just 4 on the offside. And the one that went for the boundary in the last over was really a bad delivery on the onside. You want to give yourself protection in the areas that you are going to bowl to. So you might just want to consider bringing an extra guy on the offside to close that gap, because if he is getting any movement with the ball, Budu, and he's getting the ball to just seam away, the ball is, and we see the wicket keeper as well making suggestions, the vice captain Cardogan. Yeah, they are going to bring the long off into the ring and drop the short man back out to the boundary. So it's still four on the offside, but no protection on the boundary.
Yeah, the new batsman is Verinder Singh, who's at the non-strikers and the captain. It's in the air, just where he came from, but even he would have had a hard time hauling that in. It went for four, just dropped in front of the rope, and one bounce. And now the bowler isn't very happy. He wanted the long on. The field was changed, and then would you believe it? The very first ball, the ball was played over the head of the long on fielder.
But this is where you have to try and get it right and get that communication right. He has five on the onside. Is he going to be bowling a body line attack? Is he going to be bowling outside of the off stump? And just after making the field change, he's into the body with that delivery and punched over the middle for four.
And that one is going to be a no ball for height, and it's gone for four all the same. So all of a sudden, the floodgates have opened up here a little bit. Despite having lost the two wickets, India now starting to up the acceleration.
And what we've seen from Sunday is that the batsmen are very good at manipulating the field, putting the ball in the areas where the fielders aren't. And Budu now under a lot of pressure. One that skimmed past the short third man into the boundary for four, and then another one straight the long on. Had he been there, it would have been almost straight to him. It did land inside, which meant that it would have been a catchable height had the field stayed the same. And this time, a badly lined delivery. And I was making a comment earlier, Ruskin, with the ball being a tad bit wet because of the outfield, and that one probably slipping out of his hand.
Yeah, it clearly did. Nicely bowled again. Good comeback delivery. And that would have been the free hit delivery. Luckily for him, he had it right up in the block. Or maybe that is what he was striving for earlier, and he got it all wrong.
Well, Mansingh at mid on went to Budu, took the rag from Budu, but the ball is not coming to him to dry.
And that's another good delivery too. He fooled him with that one. The batsman is thinking wide, but it wasn't a wide delivery. What it was he could have fooled him. He was waiting on the crease there, hoping that he'd come onto his legs again. He went outside the off stump this time, further away. And by the time the batsman recognized what was happening, the ball was through to the keeper. Full toss, but driven nicely. That's going down the hill it goes. And once it gets past there isn't much that Adam could do about it. And Goman Singh, who is at that mid-on position, um, he too couldn't get across. Four good-looking runs.
There's a lot of pointing and gesticulating going on now because although they dropped the third man back with four on the offside, still he maintained his line into that middle stump, middle and off stump line, and because his left arm around the wicket, it's angling into the right hand batsman, which is why the long off was in place initially and a deep mid wicket. So he wants to bowl into that middle stump, middle and off stump line, which means that ball is going to be worked into the onside, and now the third man has come back in the circle and the long off on the boundary, the long on rather.
That's another good delivery, but this one peels off the inside edge, and it goes three-quarters of the way to the boundary at a deep backward square position. And the batsmen have themselves to two more, so a very productive over for India in this one. Bowder in particular, feasting down at that southern end.
Two wickets down, just over 30 runs on the board, and not quite getting it right in terms of the field placing in that over from Budu, his second over of the innings. Just one delivery outside of the off stump that was played away down to third man for 4. And they brought the long on up, but Budu maintained his line into the body and was worked into the onside for a couple boundaries. So they just have to get their planning sorted out, the Trinidad and Tobago team. So it's going to be a bowling change now. Mohammed, he's coming out of the attack after picking up a wicket.
Yeah,
Last over.
surprising, yeah.
Sometimes you have to maintain a little bit of versatility as a captain out on the field. You would have had a plan A going into it in terms of your bowling strategies, but if your bowler gets a wicket and he's bowling well, you might just want to give him that additional over. It is a T20 affair. Just wondering you could have given him a third over and perhaps bowl him out if he was bowling well, because the mood that Virendra Singh is in out there, as well as Krishna Gowda, they would want to capitalize on anything loose.
And again, just a nudge and a very comfortable run without taking too much risk there. Joel Lord picking up the attack.
He seems to be bowling over for a little bit of a shorter run that he did on Sunday, swapping ends. So he's bowling from the pavilion end. So himself and Budu decided that they wanted to swap ends for this T20 game. And the 2 out in the deep again is long on and deep mid wicket, just as they had for Mohammed.
Gowda is quickly on this one. It's going to be another. This one is a bye this time. Or is it a wide first? A leg bye. Did touch the pad. So it's signaled as a leg bye. And the keeper looked as if he had it covered, and then it just kind of deflected away from him.
And it is a bit damp out there in the outfield. We saw the ground staff having to put some of that sand in certain areas along the outfield, around the square especially.
Yes, but you have to commend the ground staff here. Captain is, oh, there's a nice return there. He was aiming for it, though. He was really going for it on this occasion. And he was putting the batsman under some pressure. The incredible thing about it, the batsman didn't really seem to accelerate. He was just going at the same pace, almost as if it hit, it hit. I'm not going in there.
And that's one of the reasons you've got to get the throw in quickly. We saw Budu a couple overs ago not opting to not throw the ball in. And Jokan as well as Murray on this occasion rifling the throw in.
In the air, just dropping a little bit short. He had to run to his left and forward on this occasion, but not able to haul it in.
Borneo there thought he was in with a chance to come in and take the catch. Has already taken a good catch. He's just commenting to the bowler why. The bowler's asking him, why didn't you go forward and take the catch? He's gesticulating. It was landing in front of me. Couldn't get to it.
Yeah. Nicely played. That's a great shot. That's 4 runs. Again, you could see him getting outside the off stump, getting his body into position, almost like a tennis player, waiting for the ball to come so he could execute a good backhand shot. But this one was a slap behind point for 4.
Yeah, that is the bread and butter of any left-hand batsman, to being able to manipulate the ball through the point area and pick up easy runs to anything that is short and wide. It doesn't even have to be short, but they can just open that bat face and just deflect it or guide it past. And we've seen the one and only Brian Lara scored thousands of runs in that area. Probably did it from that end as well.
On occasion, yes. Slower delivery, but well played again by Singh. Virendra Singh, the captain of the Indian team. I'm sure he would love to put together a big score here, personally and as a team.
And already he's gone for a boundary in the over. Wondering if they would have given Nicholas Mohammed another over. He was just beginning to have a good control outside of the off stump. He was getting the ball to spin as well, and saw the batsman play and miss a couple times. It would have been interesting as well for the off spinner to get an opportunity to bowl at the left hand batsman to try and get some turn and get an outside edge and create an opportunity for another wicket, because 3 wickets down inside of the power play is a very good accomplishment for any team playing cricket in a T20 affair.
Yep. So 42 for 2 now at the end of over number 5. And picking up the attack for Trinidad and Tobago immediately. Getting the ball is Lord. Actually, Lord is bowling at the opposite. Murray it is. Ori Murray, the man who rifled that return in a short while ago.
Umpire Ryan John just asking him if he's left-handed or right-handed. But with sign language, he might have been asking him a different type of question. Nevertheless, he's going to take it up from the media center end.
That's glorious. Brilliantly played indeed. Into the gap it goes. And down to the extra cover boundary for 4 runs.
And he reminded me of a Rashad Pant with that type of shot. Just reaching across, letting the ball come to the bat and just guiding it through the offside for 4. Rashad Pant.
As they say, Pant, he got 100 today.
Yep. Is he the new vice captain of the test team for India?
Yeah, look, this is how cricket has really turned around. Guys are warming up for a test series playing T20 cricket.
PPL.
It just shows you how the game has changed. And I suppose the thinking is, they're playing cricket. Let's just put it that way.
Match fit, match ready. Change of line coming around the wicket now.
And that's well bowled again. Yeah, I suppose that's the general thinking. But then again, given what is happening in the game now, with so much money involved in the IPL, that no board is going to want to, begrudge a player uh, playing and making that kind of lucrative income and deny them that, especially given the history of the game. Here's another shot, very well played into the gap. It goes. That's 4 more. This is excellent batting here again from Singh.
But he has the name of one of the greatest opening batsmen in our time, Sehwag, and he has the style of another one of the Indian batsmen, Rashad Pant.
Yeah, it's a double whammy for the bowler here, because you can't give him that much width, even though you're heavily populated on the offside. You still have to sort of cramp him up a little bit. Maybe have him respect the ball, bowl it on the stump.
Well, they've dropped the mid off to the boundary.
And again, 4 more. Brilliantly done indeed. And he is uh, certainly not afraid to put back the ball outside the off stump. 3 in a row. And 12 runs just like that in double quick time.
It does seem as though Rashad Pant is still out there continuing on from his 100 today in the IPL. And he's bowling a line outside of the off stump. And let's put it in perspective. They decided to drop the mid off to long off instead of putting a sweeper and a third man in place. Clearly, he's going to maintain his line outside of the off stump. And the strength of Singh is to push that ball through the offside regardless of its length. And now he decides to come back over the wicket, and there is a deep cover in place.
Now they're going to get a single. They'll have to hurry, but very well judged again. So this is good cricket all around on the part of the Indians. They're not afraid to put back the ball, and when they're not doing that, they still rotate in strike. Our good friend Javed Miandad, who was a master at that. He could manipulate the bowling almost every delivery.
Well, this final over of the power play is considered 13 runs so far.
And more. That's 6 runs. Just over the head of the long on, just over the long on boundary. The man is in the circle. And so they're kind of undecided as to what to do with the long on fielder, whether to put the long off or the long on. They opted for the long off this time. And the batsman Gowda, sensing that, helped himself to 6. The first of the match, and hit it beautifully over long on for 6 runs.
So Orion Murray. Murray, not an unfamiliar name here at the Queen's Park Oval. And both Murrays, Derek Murray and Colin Murray, would have been proud of those shots there in that over. And the bowler, Orion Murray, he has gone for 19 off of his first over.
Yeah, that was not what the captain wanted at this stage. He was hoping to maybe end the power play on a high 61 for 2 now after 6.
And not really taking advantage of losing those wickets early, the Trinidad and Tobago team. And there's been a lot of indecision in the field placing and what the strategy would be. And we've seen a lot of the field changes being implemented by the vice captain Cardigan, who does have the wicket keeping gloves and is probably in the best position, as most wicket keepers do, Ruskin, tend to advise and position people. We've not seen a lot of the changes itself coming from the captain, Devon Adams.
And now I'm looking at the captain asking the captain for the India team is
Helping him.
He's probably, but he's also pointing out to him that it's a limited number of players they can have outside the circle. And so there are 4 of them outside there. So they're well within their right. Now they're actually pushing a 5th player back.
I think he was just watching, pointing to the captain himself, who was a short-third man, but standing outside of the ring.
And all of that to say wide. Come and produce a wide defeats everything. Now we were talking about Pant scoring 100 and Virat Kohli also doing very well today. But I was reading something and then that just blew my mind. And I was trying to remember what the score was. But there was a score in a lower division. I think, is it in England? And the team made some astonishing figure, almost like 300 and something plus, and then bowled out the opposition for 2 runs. One man made a single and the other one was a wide.
I was going to say the other one was an extra. I recall that as well.
I mean, there's another brilliant shot indeed. He waited on it and then he just played it nicely into the gap, bisecting the 2 fielders in that general area. One a little bit square out backward point, one a little bit finer, almost a wide 3rd man. Both of them at the edge of the circle, but neither one having a chance there to cut that one off.
Well, the sun is out here at the Queen's Park Oval now, brightening up the occasion for the 2 batters out there. And they are certainly on top of their game and shining brightly as well, are the 2.
Slow delivery, but very well played again by the captain, Singh. Surinder Singh, he's come out here and immediately he's looked in the pink of form. He's quickly up to 25. Gowda, who is 27, who was going at a rate of knots earlier, had slowed down since Singh has arrived at the crease.
Most definitely, these 2 have negated the fact that they have lost 2 early wickets, and they're continuing to pump on.
Again, just losing the plot. And you can see in it with his action, he everything, it went wrong from here. And he's just like kind of pushing it down because he wants to probably bowl an in cutter. But he's starting it so far down the leg side, it will just keep going once it's so badly lined. He got away with that one, but it was at least a little bit closer to the batsman.
And this is the 2nd time Murray quickly onto the ball, this time underarming the throw, diving forward. So good to see commitment in the field from the youngster. And Lord really has to try and focus on keeping that ball to the right hand, outside of the off stump, because that is where his protection is. He has a long on, long off, a deep extra cover, as well as a deep cover on the boundary. Now, the fielders on the boundary are going to remain in position, although it's the left-hander on strike.
Sure, full toss, it's going again down behind square. That's 4 runs. Trying to get around there, but not able to do that. Borneo and another boundary for Singh. So he has really come out here and is really putting bat to ball and having great success.
Yeah, the bowlers are going to have to concentrate to bowl one delivery at a time. I know it sounds a bit, but it's a terminology in cricket. One delivery at a time.
And here it is again. You can see, so he's concentrating, but he's really not concentrating on what he should be concentrating on. He's really focused now on his line, or he's so worried that the ball is doing all sorts of things with from when it leaves his hands, he has no control over it. And that's essentially what is his worry right now.
He has to focus on one spot on the wicket and forget about pace, forget about movement, and try and pitch it on that spot.
Short again, but this is a brilliant stop. Doesn't take all the pace out of it, but he does enough, and that's the captain showing good commitment here, leading by example. And would you believe they're going to get the overthrow eventually?
Well, there were two first,
And they
but
might actually steal another one. They were just they were thinking about it. It was in their mind that they could just run another one.
yeah, they were confident that Borneo doesn't have the arm from coming off of the boundary to run them out if they do decide to come for another run. But two fielders backing up inside the ring. It went through the wicketkeeper, went through both of them, and eventually got onto Borneo on the boundary. And they would want to not just tighten up their bowling lines, but the fielding as well.
Like the ball had a mind of its own. That's another great shot. There is cover down there.
And Ruskin, that's the point there. If you can maintain your line and length, and even though your length might be slightly off, but the line is important because that is where the fielders are set. And even though it was a good, aggressive off drive shot, it went directly to the fielder and just a one run. So you have to bowl to your fielder. We've seen too many deliveries angling down the leg side, wide outside of the off stump, and the two batters, Virendra Singh and Krishna Gowda, capitalizing significantly on anything loose. 78 for 2 after 7.
Yeah, they're going at a good rate here, and so they're putting pressure on the Trinidad and Tobago players. And you can tell, just look at how much kind of uncertainty guys have as to where they should be in the field, and who should be doing what and when. And it just gives you that impression that there is, um, in terms of preparation, they probably haven't faced this kind of pressure before as a unit. So now the bowlers want one thing, the wicketkeeper wants something else. The captain is hoping to uh, take charge and get a different scenario. So they all seem to be there. There's just that little. Now we have the coach, who I think is the coach. He is probably trying to get another message across to them. Unfortunately, because it's deaf cricket, you can't just shout at them and say do X or Y. So it has to be some kind of a sign that somebody has to give to get the message across.
Well, and the captain really needs to take charge here as well. And we've seen a lot of people setting the field, including the wicket keeper. And in fact, the bowler set the field, telling the captain where to go. And he sent the captain to long off and then brought the captain back into long on. So there's a mid off, a deepish extra cover, a deep cover on the boundary, a cover in the ring, and a short third man. And there's a wicket keeper making another change, including moving the captain.
Yep, and he got a helmet, so that took a little while. Now he has to get his gloves back on, but in the meantime, he is, as they say, directing traffic. And we have three men on the onside in the deep. This one is in the air, over the head of the man. It goes out to the ground for six more.
Well, that is exactly why he wanted the captain to go back to long off, but it was a rank long hop, really, and put away quite competently by
Shubdan,
Gowda.
yeah, Rohan Shubdan is the new bowler. And really served up a nice lollipop there. That was feasted on. And again, this time the man is out there, but he's coming too far inside, trying to attack the ball as Adams is probably had been taught all along, and then only to realize that it didn't make that much height, but it was traveling coming at him So he probably would have been better advised to just stand and then maybe jump. But he was running in only to see the ball screaming past him.
Well, he's going to have to learn very quickly to feel on that boundary because the previous delivery, he was also charging in and it was well over his head. On this occasion, he was charging in yet again, and had he stood in his position, might have had an opportunity.
That's another delivery that is cut away nicely for 4 more. Or is it? Yes, it is. Well, it's a brilliant bit of fielding out there. I thought it had gone past him, but he was able to spread his long arms out there and haul that one in. That's excellent fielding out there in the deep.
And Tobias, yeah.
Yep, Tobias again.
Excellent stop, Ruskin.
Yep. For a moment, they look like this had 4 written all over it because he's nowhere in the frame here up to this point. And then he just comes and spread his long levers and that prevents it from going over the ropes. And a little bit of misfielding here, bad miss there from Budu. And they will get the extra run. Again, the wicketkeeper getting behind the ball but not stopping it. And I think that is what is required under these circumstances. But to their credit, the bowler is still applauding the fielder for getting the ball in quickly. And once again, Adams is called into action. So really, it's a big occasion for these youngsters. They obviously would have been dreaming of representing Trinidad and Tobago in the past. And here they are.
Another accomplished looking shot there from the captain. Takes him on to 33. And another very expensive over coming to an end.
96 for 2 at the end of it.
I'm just wondering, Ruskin, we saw Nicholas Mohammed opening the bowling and bowled quite well with just 2 fielders out in the deep. He was taken off after taking a wicket. He was getting some nice turn on the strip, and we haven't seen him come back into the attack. 8 overs gone, and it might be a case of trying to use all your bowlers to give them the opportunity to bowl. But at some point, you're going to have to see you want your best bowlers finishing off the innings or at least bowling their maximum quota. And Mohammed was very much on song with his off spin. And at some point, you might want to just bring him back. And I thought that he shouldn't have been taken off at all.
Well, he's one of the bowlers that you feel should bowl his full quota. And so jump high, jump low, you have to factor in, where he's going to, you're going to bowl him the rest of the way.
Yeah, because right now I can't see there's no evidence out there with the bowling that we've seen after Mohammed came off that anybody was going to take a wicket. And one of the ways to curb the run rate is to take wickets.
And that's a good delivery. In fact, that goes through everybody, including the wicketkeeper. It doesn't go to the boundary, and it's just stopped just short of the boundary. And the batsmen are quite content with just a couple. Nice. Yep.
That was a peach of a delivery, Ruskin. It seemed to come back into the left-hand batsman. It beat him for pace, it beat him for bounce, as well as not just the batsman, but the wicketkeeper as well. And it Mohammed and Adams to do the combined fielding on the boundary. Look at this delivery here again. And an excellent delivery. Angling in, getting an additional bit of bounce.
Here they come again, but just a single this time. And good bit of fielding in the end. Guman Singh, the new bowler. Christopher.
So we've seen Budu and Lord as the first choice fast bowlers, medium fast bowler. But Guman Singh seems to have some pace and bounce with his deliveries.
And look at this here now. They're just giving him a single. They have the fielders on the outside. All boundaries, just the one man inside that circle there, that short third man, but everybody else on the offside is on the boundary.
Well, Ruskin, is it a case because it's the same field for the left-hander as it is for the right-hander? Normally, you'd see the extra cover come across for the right-hander, but that is not happening. There is no point in place, no pun intended, to this field.
And that's the thing. You have a long off, deep extra cover, backward point, short third man. Just four of them on the offside, and bowling a short ball, you're just leaking unnecessary runs here. But it's just surprising that they didn't bother to put a field out, maybe a short extra cover, even a short cover.
But look at it now, Ruskin. Nobody is changing their positions for the left-hander coming on strike. As the 50 partnership comes up, the 100 is on the board, in fact, with that single. As the two batsmen just congratulate each other. We go on 47 and Virendra Singh on 34. The bowler now comes around the wicket, right arm.
Played nicely into the gap. There is cover out there in the deep. They go for one and will get a second. And but this is a nice measured approach from these two. They're not trying to bludgeon the ball, but they're picking up runs almost off every delivery.
Not just ones either. Twos, they're turning the ones into twos as well.
And again, another run, at least a single to keep the scoreboard ticking over. So a good, not a bad over by any stretch of the imagination. We've seen worse, but they still managed to keep the scoreboard ticking over. So 9 gone, it's 103 for 2.
Well, it has to be said that is the most economical over of the entire innings. Just going for 5 runs, and ironically, Ruskin, you have to say he bowled to his field.
Yep, and that's why they're there. They're to help out in the field. And now here's the other thing about it: when the captain, I think, has called for a little drink. I would imagine the official break should be after the next over. You know, so the umpire is just tapping on his wrist as if to tell him we're playing to time here and see what happened. Here, some of the spectators who were cheering a while ago there, they haven't had much to cheer about since, but I'm sure they'll be eager to see Trinidad and Tobago continue to fight here, maybe pick up a couple more wickets, give them something to shout and holler about.
Well, they've heard us making the point over and over. The message has gone out. The off spinner Nicholas Mohammed is back into the attack, and he's going to bowl a 1 over just before the break.
Yeah, but they had to figure out how to help him finish up his overs so that he must be among the bowlers who would complete their quota of 4 overs.
And again, there is nobody in the ring on the offside in front of point. They're all on the boundaries.
And he should have done better there, saying to Mohammed rather to keep it, even if he could have denied them a single.
Yeah, you've got to get that extra cover in. It's what 1 over before the break. And I know you want to protect the boundaries, but Mohammed has been good enough that he should merit an extra cover in the ring just to stop that rotation of strike.
And then now adjusting the man at just, he was a short backward square. He's come into a mid wicket now. And, there is a deep mid wicket, but slightly squarer. And struck powerfully down to long off. Good work again by Adams. Getting his body behind it this time, knocking it down, leading by example, the captain.
So he's just conceded 10 runs into his 3rd over. As he makes another adjustment now with the left hand on strike. He's bringing the man from deep cover into, well, eventually he should get to backward point.
He's walking in with the bowler. There's actually just over his head. Well, that would have been really miraculous because they were pleading with him to come in. he wasn't fully in, he wasn't fully back, and he was kind of like in no man's land. And he was walking in nicely. The ball, an overpitched ball, well, a full toss, really a high full toss that has been called a no ball, cut away and just over his head, and that goes down to the bone just 4 more runs.
Well, procrastination almost got them a wicket. He is now going to drop. He's still not on the boundary, just about 5 yards inside the rope at the backward point. As Mohammed comes right arm around the wicket.
Free hit, another full toss, 4 more.
I'm just wondering if he has some difficulty
The
gripping the
ball,
ball. Yeah.
and this is where what we've been talking about, the lack of playing together as a unit and going through these growing pains, if you know what I mean, and coming out on the other side better for it. But it's like they're learning on the job here right now. That's a great shot again into the gap. That's 4 good-looking runs. So well played by the captain Verinder Singh. He looks like he's in a class by himself. That's his half century. So 50 from 22 balls, 9 4s in there.
What an excellent knock this has been. It's been mixed with aggression, it's been mixed with power, and then you just saw a touch of class and timing there from the left hander. And a well played 50. And that is the type of delivery Mohammed should have been concentrating on bowling. This bowl a couple bad deliveries and it's cost him dearly in the over.
The stifled appeal, and the wicketkeeper, in his haste to try to run him out, batted the ball towards the stump. But guess what? He batted it away, and they were able to get the leg by eventually.
So there's 12 runs coming in that Mohammed over. 3 of them going for boundaries, one off of a no ball, the free hit, and costing the Trinidad and Tobago team dearly 119 for 2 and 10 overs gone. And we're going to have a drinks break as we look at that magnificent shot again. Or is this the appeal, or this is the LBW shot from Mohammed going down the leg side? Yeah, they're not going to come back enough, and the keeper trying to get a run out, toss the ball away from the stump, and they do get the leg by in the end. 119 for 2, 10 overs gone. Krishna Gowda's on 48 off of 27. Virendra Singh bringing up his 50 in that over off of 24 deliveries. And with a current run rate of 11.90 on the board, we will take a break here as well.
Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation.
So thank you very much to welcome you back here. We just had the break in play here. The 10 overs completed. So we are the midway point of the first innings of this T20 international game between Trinidad and Tobago and India. The Indians were basically put into bat first, and Trinidad and Tobago at one stage looked like they were going to justify that with two early wickets, but then these two have really stayed the course so far and batted the Indians into a very strong position.
So 61 runs posted after the power play. And we're now at 119 runs after 10. So the acceleration is on. And all for the loss of 2 wickets as the coaching staff has relocated to the deep mid-wicket area.
Again, too easy, way too easy for them. And they're just taking full advantage of the naivety of the Trinidad and Tobago players out there.
So Gowda just 2 runs short of a well-earned, well-played half-century.
That's a brilliant shot. That's in the gap. That's gone. Brilliant. He played 6 runs. He hit it hard, Gowda, and that will bring up his half century as well. So 4 4s and 4 6s.
And very impressive innings from the young man coming into the squad, replacing Akash Singh from the 50-over affair. And he's been quite sound, mixed aggression with timing, working the ball into the gaps. And well played 50 to him, partnering the captain Virendra Singh quite well.
And even though he, the captain is, the wicketkeeper rather is appealing rather belatedly, and that's after the bowler Guman Singh had inquired from the umpire if there might have been a touch.
See if there was anything onto this as well. Ball dipping, swinging away. He's been the most economical bowler, Guman Singh. That's good news for the Trinidad and Tobago team.
Rainer stopping it, and he's taken the catch. Brilliantly done indeed. And just as he's gone to his 50, he's on 54, but he will score no more as he has to go back now, Gowda. Caught and bowled by Guman Singh for a very well played 54.
Well, it's the first time we've seen him not in control of a shot. It hit high up on the bat. And Guman Singh getting just reward. He was hit for a 6 in the over, but he still managed to come back, bowl a dot delivery, and trying to be aggressive again. Good line, good length, short of a length. That little bit of an additional bounce from the big man. And down on one knee. He's going to have to get up as his inning comes to an end. And a good wicket, a good caught on ball from Guman Singh.
Yeah, that's excellent cricket. We've seen 3 good catches in this innings already. And so, in between the little bit of lapse in concentration with the misfielding and the bowling, sometimes, down the leg side to the right hander, then overcompensating it down the leg side to the left hander, as the case may be. But in between all of that, and with the splendid batting that we've seen from from those two, because Gowda has to go now, it has to be said, as the captain, the Trinidad coach, rather, they are looking on quite intently, trying to, that's what I say, find improvements along the way.
Looks like Enel Ryan there.
Yeah, trying his best to support the players as best as they possibly can.
So the new man, Abhishek Singh, one of the many Singhs in the team. 4 to be exact. No helmet on, facing up to Gumansing.
And immediately he's off and running.
Off the mark, 127 for 3. And there's... So for the first time, the Trinidad and Tobago team are into the middle order of the Indian lineup. But the captain is still there on 50. 234 is the projected total.
And almost overcommitted himself to playing that pretty offside. He could easily have played it on the onside, but he was so committed to maybe finding a gap through the offside, kind of bucked away instead of really stepping into it and pulling it on the onside. But he got a single all the same. And you look at it here, he was way back, then had to open up and play it through the offside.
So a real football there from Gumansing. You see him there literally bending his back. And Murray again eager to charge in to try and deter or execute a run out. Had to run around the umpire Ryan John, and decided not to get the throw in with the delay in running around the umpire. So the end of the over, 128 for 3. Successful over.
Yeah, again, a good catch inside of there. So in between, like we say, all the other areas where they've fallen down slightly, and their catching has been outstanding.
Well, as you mentioned, Ruskin, the coach Ryan on the boundary edge, indicating where he wants the fielders, but he has to wait for somebody to look at him before he can execute the field changes, because the wicketkeeper is making a change, looking away from him, makes the change, then has to look back, and then he's making another change, and it's all leading to delays in the cricket itself. As now for the left-hander, they're taking a man from the onside, and it's also adding to the difficulties with the left hand and right hand combination.
And the middle and the wicketkeeper is still trying to position his players.
The batsman now is asking the wicketkeeper, "Are you ready?"
Yeah, are you finished now? That's another great shot. That's in the gap. That too is going to run away for 4 runs. Not sure he's going to get anywhere near to it, although he did close on it, but nothing he could do to prevent it from going in. There's Shokan running around the boundary.
And a new bowler, Borneo. So despite all the field changes, the batsman just saying you could put them anywhere, man. Finds the deep extra cover gap, who is now being moved to his left, long off, trying to close the gap where that boundary went. And then he bowls it into the leg side, and it's going to be another boundary. So it's one thing to get the fielders right, even the bowler setting the field. But then if you aren't going to bowl it in the areas and bowl through your field, this is the end result. And the batsmen have shown that they're quite capable of putting away deliveries, even maneuvering the ball into the gaps to manipulate the field. And the Trinidad and Tobago team are very much playing catch-up.
Yeah, they're under the gun here a little bit, and nothing they seem to try is working, although they've gotten these 3 wickets. Big swing and a miss, but that's just going down the leg side. That should be a wide. I don't think the batsman even touched it. Yep.
So 2 boundaries and a wide in this Jamel Borneo over. Coming into the attack, they've taken Nicholas Mohammed out of the attack.
Yeah, it's not the easiest situation. This is another opportunity, but he put this one down. Well. A great chance there for another wicket, and that would have been the prized wicket of Singh.
Yeah, had he taken that catch, it would have meant that it would be 2 new batters to the crease. It is a full toss, and just losing a little bit of concentration, trying to go over the top, but the man was on the edge of the 30-yard circle there, Rohan Subdan, and it was really in his lap. Well, it was in and out.
He probably just need to make a step forward. And he doesn't need much to step in here. Another one that just goes over the head of the man running back. And never seemed to be settled as to the location of the ball.
Guman Singh there running backward, having to look over his shoulder and trying to accelerate whilst keeping his eyes on the ball, running backwards. One of the most difficult catches in cricket to take. And you can see why he didn't get anywhere near it.
That are wide signals. We're going to have a lot of those as the bowlers. Now they have to kind of go with some of the reserve bowlers because they haven't gotten what they wanted from the frontline ones. Gift again, punched away nicely. Long chase out there, and that forehand. I thought for a moment he was going to put in a dive. He looked like if he was going to run, jump, and dive. And luckily for him, he didn't because that ball had good pace and it probably might have still beat him to the boundary.
Well, every over since the sixth over, barring the opening over from Guman Singh, every single over since the sixth over has conceded at least 2 boundaries.
Yeah, and that's saying something. They have to hurry again, and it goes right through him, but it probably wouldn't cost them because it was backed up nicely by Adams.
I was just excited there for a moment as I saw it was the man Murray charging in to pick it up because I knew Ruskin, had he picked it up, he would have thrown the stumps down. And the key words in that is, had he picked it up? Doesn't cost them a boundary, however. 146 for 3. And very ominous signs here for the Trinidad and Tobago team. Varinder Singh, he's up to 60 off of 29 deliveries. And Akash Singh, the 200 strike rate, 8 off of 4. Coming in and supporting his captain quite well with the fall of that Krishna Bowda wicket. He went for 54. So the Indian team very much in charge as they look to bring up 150 runs in this over.
Yeah, just making sure that all the players are where they're supposed to be. And they're being very meticulous about their field placing, but the batsmen keep piercing the field.
But Ruskin, there are good signs out there for the coach and Devendra Maharaj to work with. You can see that they have been able to, the fast bowlers do have some pace, they have some measure of control, albeit they do give you 2 or 3 bad balls and over. We did see the bowling of Mohammed was quite accurate when he started with the first 2. So there is a lot to work with as they continue to develop the Trinidad and Tobago team.
Now, again, they have to be so much tighter in these areas because these are easy runs that you're gifting away. And you don't want to do that, especially if you want to be competitive at this level. They have to find ways to just to sink in, get that message to sink in into the brain. If it's a single, it's a single. But do all the basics. Pick up the ball, protect the line when you attacking the ball. And the wicketkeeper is still gesticulating because I don't know if they've made it now. The coach on the side of the field is sending out instructions. So the wicketkeeper is picking up those instructions and trying to transmit it to the other players on the field. So there's a lot of long distance communications going on.
Yeah, and at some point, the coach is going to have to decide just to leave it up to the players out there. One time is a factor, there's another fielding change. And they're definitely going to have to work on their captaincy and field placing back in the dressing room.
Yep, it is. And nothing you can do there about that one. That's another gorgeous shot there from Singh. Pure class, really.
He has a name to live up to. Varindra. Have a look at this shot here. Foot reaching out to it, playing through the line of the deliveries, eyes on the ball, and timing it across the outfield. Tobias had no chance there, although he's at deep cover. He just continues there. We see the coach.
Yes, he's gonna try it all the time. Yeah,
but he's chasing the ball basically.
he's belching out instructions almost after every ball. He's trying to at least make an adjustment. But the thing is, again, as a coach, because he's seeing these things taking place on the field, and he's trying his darndest to get the players to, react in a certain way. But at some point, he's going to have to just let them play,
He's taking the captain out of the equation.
Yeah, just let them play, and you'll talk to them in the dressing room after. Let them work it out. But not all coaches operate that way. That's another sweet shot.
And one of the things that you can't tell with these Indian teams that come on tour, even the youth teams that come on tour, there was a DC Hub team that came from the US that were predominantly second, third generation immigrants from India. They do have quite good technical ability, and it's very much on display here in terms of their skill level, and they are applying it to the best of their ability, and so far coming out on top. 154 for 3.
Add to that. This is another chance, and he took it.
That man Murray.
Or did he put it down? He did. Well,
I was wondering.
Oh dear, he got it into his hands, and again, maybe just when the elbows touched the ground, it came out.
He was moving forward toward the catch. It came straight into the bread basket, but his momentum was still moving forward as he's been attacking everything, and you could see him leaning forward there and not quite closing the hands in time as he was advancing. It came through his hands into his stomach and onto the ground.
Well, another chance that could be very costly. They might hurry for 2 here, but then they decide against it.
One of the things the captain would have to work on as the over comes to an end, 155 for 3 after 13, the captain and the coach and the assistant coach, Mr. Anthony Critchlow, will have to work on is getting the bowlers to bowl a particular line and length and maintain that for as long as possible during the course of an over. Because then, if you set a field to that, you negate having to chase the ball around in the outfield because you then set your field according to the line that you want to bowl. And that seems to be a bit lacking here with the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers and being taken full advantage of here by the Indian team.
Yeah, they're just, and this is where the technical aspect of the cricket comes into play. As you see the dressing rooms there, the Indians, I'm sure, will be the happier of the two at the moment. But this is where the technical part comes into play here, where the players have to work out or understand, I should say. And that only comes with one, the coaching, yes, but with playing. You kind of, and the players are too have to help the captain while they're out there in the field, But as it stands right now, they really look like a team that all of this is new to them. And that though looks very familiar, that extra cover drive from Singh. They go in there, they'll take one on the arm, and they'll get it too.
And it's that man Murray back into the attack. His first over course, 19 runs. So he would want to get that right. And as we said, he has to hold that off-stump line as the field is set with a long off deep cover, mid-on, point and short third man.
Yeah, that's so much better. It's well bowled, but it's also very well played. And the most important thing, they get a rotation of strike.
Now this is what has been compounding the field placing and delaying things because we are definitely going to go over time in this innings with the right hand left hand combination. The field has to change around, and they still seem unsure of what those field changes should be for the right hand left hand combination. As now the extra cover, which is one of the basic field changes that has to be made with left hand, right hand combination, that the extra cover has to move across from the right hander to the left hander so he stays in the extra cover position. And perhaps one fielder off the boundary as well on the offside.
There are 6 players out on the boundary, so he had to come into the circle. That's well played. And as he comes in, the ball goes past him and down to the backward point boundary for 4 runs.
Well, there's no need for anything vocal to come from Tobias. Just his hand signal alone could tell you what he was thinking. Because he was out on the boundary at deep cover. And immediately as that shot was played to that wide delivery outside the off stump, his hands went in the air as if to say, you could see him there again in the replay, as if to say, I was just there and you should have kept me there because the line is outside the off stump.
And he probably could be a little bit frustrated as a result.
A good delivery, Ruskin.
Yeah,
just a little bit of movement in the air, yeah. Would it be a little bit of reverse, you think?
Probably because he sort of hung it in the air there a little while longer. Almost got under the bat or past the edge of the bat, but he hit the toe of the bat.
Let's see if it's a repeatable delivery from the young Murray. He tries.
And he gets deposited over mid-wicket for another 6.
Well, he certainly tried. It was a Yorker delivery and a good one the previous delivery. This time trying to repeat it, getting it all wrong, and all it would mean is a full toss into the pads and a help me ball. Help yourself ball.
Yeah, Abhishek Singh says, thank you very much. And he just calmly puts it away for a maximum.
Yeah, no amount of field changes could negate the effect of that delivery. When you do have a batsman of the nature of these two out in the middle, Singh is on 69 and Abhishek Singh rather, is on 19 now, facing up after 9 deliveries with his captain at the other end on 69, Virendra Singh.
Another full pitch delivery. That one is a shot of class. He just eased it into the gap for 4 runs just behind point.
What a good looking shot there. This time mixing aggression in the last delivery to placement and good temperament from the young Abhishek Singh. It's another one with a very interesting name. Abhishek Sharma plays in the IPL, another very accomplished opening batsman. I think he's made his way into the ODI setup as well for India. And that shot, touch of class there from Abhishek Singh, one that Mr. Abhishek Sharma might well be proud of. 14 overs gone, 172 for 3, and we've been treated to some good shot playing here, Ruskin.
Oh, this is excellent batting. And of course, the captain is leading from the front. And he has been the principal entertainer so far with some exquisite shots. And his placement, more than anything else, is what I think I admire the most because seeing where they're putting the cluster of fielders and he's just going into areas where they don't have that much protection.
Well, there's a bit of a change. Initially, they were going to bring back in the opening bowler Budu, but they've decided to allow Guman Singh to complete his allotment of 4 overs. He's gone for 21 runs, has taken a wicket, and he's been the most economical bowler of the lot. Yeah. So why wouldn't you let him finish off his spell?
In the general scheme of things, this is excellent. Well, he's going to have to do that again. So just as we were commending him for his splendid bowling. Yep.
Well, he's only conceded 1 run, although he hasn't legally bowled a ball yet. But he can't be that wide outside the off-stump, particularly the Virendra Singh, who's hitting for about 4 boundaries between point and short third man. So there's a danger if he holds that line, particularly with no third man in place on the boundary.
And this one is in the air. There's a man running, coming in. And again, he just never seemed as if he was going to be capable of catching that one, Jukam. The ball was in the air for a long while. Then he holds his hand up, apologizing.
He's apologizing to the coach because the coach is gesticulating. He should have charged in to take that catch. So allowing it to land in front of him, it would have meant a second wicket for Guman Singh and the dismissal of the captain.
And he goes again. That's another good chance. Another chance at a catch. It's the hand, but it still has enough on it to take it over the boundary. So no heroics this time for Borneo. But again, he could go with both hands. He should be going with both hands there and losing out. So that's a 53 now on the board, these two. Good partnership again. So you can see he got a hand to it, but he really there you need to be going with two hands.
At least knock it down in front of you.
The one hand looks nice, but you really need to be going with both hands. Quick single again. That was such a wide delivery.
Just reaching for it. I almost said pant, reaching for it. The captain Virendra Singh in a pant-like fashion. And it went with pace to Murray. Got his body behind it. He really had no choice to get his body behind it. It was straight to him. And prevented a boundary nonetheless. And now he's dropping out to the deep point, well, deep backward square for the right-hander in Abhishek.
Has a little bit of Shubman Gill in him. Yeah, that's we've seen so many of these now, and you know it's probably because just and again it's this is that lack of repetition. You know, doing it and doing it under pressure. It's one thing to do it in a practice game or in the net, but it's when you're out in the middle and you have an opponent in a different color shirt than yours, then you understand that you get found out easily. Let's try that again.
3 wides in the over. Might just be tiring a bit in his final over. I'm not quite sure how many times he's bowled 4 overs on the trot. And what is he indicating there for? He's just hands up in the air signaling. He's just sending the... He's just trying to clarify whether he wants the long on to stay on the boundary. There's a deep backward square, deep mid wicket, long on, long off on a deep cover.
And again, simple adjustments, not able to. Now the ball, the line, that's a better line, much better line, and a good length too. You can't get, you know, get the full swing in. But he doesn't have the real pace to really trouble these batsmen. And what I realize is that everybody we've seen so far coming to bat for India looks very accomplished and quite capable.
And they're also not batting with helmets either, which tells you that they're quite comfortable with the pace out there. Even though Guman Singh has gotten a little bit of extra bounce, now he's bringing the deep point into the ring. Murray for the left-hander.
Another easy single. No real stress at all. They're just taking over here.
He's on to 77. We're in one ball, just one ball left in the spell for Guman Singh, 1 for 33. And this over, 12 runs in it. Just a one boundary. Oh my.
And yeah, you hit this one again. It's in the air, but miscued just a little bit. And another chance here. Adams not able to get under it. So they've had their moments. They just haven't been able to take them.
Well, it's all
And it's
going
a
to
no
go
ball now
awry.
because it's
You
a
know.
it's a free hit again. So the no ball. So
He was lucky to get away with the full toss initially, because had he made proper contact, Abhishek, it might have gone to the boundary. Adams stumbling away there, trying to go for the catch. Murray coming off the bounce. It's going to be a free hit now to the captain, Virendra Singh, on 77.
you don't want to give him too many of these. And that's why goes sailing over the head of the man at mid-on. I'm looking at the player long on, and he looked like he felt he had a chance.
Ruskin, he was actually running backwards while the bowler was running up, so he wasn't even on the boundary. And he stopped from running back to run in and
And
was
the ball
clearly
is
going.
sailing over his head. It went for 6. Maximum again. This is a good shot. Too short, and given the treatment.
Well, for us, it was a very crisp song off the bat. You could hear it all the way up in the media center. We definitely knew from that song that it was going to be 6. 192 for 3, 15 gone, as Christopher Gumansing overs come to an end, 1 for 41, and really just taking a toll on his final over, spoiling his figures somewhat. So there will be a bowling change from that end as the inning comes to a close, albeit closing on almost 2 hours of play so far, but we did have full breaks for rain, Ruskin.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a stop-start early on. In fact, the umpires wanted to get the game started in the rains came, so they had to delay. Then they came back out, and again another little drizzle. So then we had the batsmen anxious to get out, so they were like encouraging the Trinidad and Tobago team to come out. And when they did, we've been going ever since. And they've been going ever since.
The ball has been going.
Yeah, they're relishing this opportunity to bat here.
Well, this tour initially was carded for the Trinidad and Tobago team to head to India just before COVID. That had to be cancelled, so they would have been eager since then.
And that's a great shot. He got down on one knee again and then helped himself through extra cover for he got it over and racing away for a boundary yet again.
And that is a high quality shot there from a high quality batsman. Getting the stride in inside out, going up and under, ensuring that he clears the extra cover fielder who is sitting on the 30-yard circle. And what a properly executed inside out shot from the young man.
That was a brilliant shot to get a boundary and keep the pressure on. The score ticks over now, 196 for 3.
And again, another fielding change, and they're bringing a 5th man in the ring on the offside. Budu again. Looks a little bit harsh there, Skin.
Yeah, if the batsman moves, the line moves too.
Yeah, he might have just got away with one there, the batsman. The umpire, of course, in the best position. Mr. John?
Yeah, this is a tricky period here for the Trinidad and Tobago team because it could go from bad to worse in a hurry if they're not careful here.
He's already conceded 26 in his first 2 overs, Budu.
Again, they have to try and stem the run flow. And this is good. You don't mind if they take singles. You can take a single off every ball. You don't mind. What you don't want is to be leaking boundaries.
Well, he leaked a lot of boundaries in his first spell, Budu, because they couldn't quite get the field right. They had 4 on the offside, and he was angling deliveries into the pads of the right-hander. And a couple times he went outside of the Austin and was punished through the vacant third man area. And it caused a little bit of confusion with the long on coming in the ring on the offside. And as a result, he was punished over mid-on, leaking some boundaries.
And here again is another well-executed shot. Might not get a bounce. In fact, it would be 4 runs because he had his foot over the ropes, Adams, when he prevented the ball from going into the boundary. So that should be 4 runs.
Well, the umpire is of the opinion that the leg was in the air when he touched the ball, Ruskin.
No, he was
He
off
seemed
the
to be
field.
clearly off the
Yeah,
field.
he seemed clearly off the field. You could see the right boot on the ground off the field. And they push and run again quickly.
Yeah, the right boot was touching the ground, and the left boot was in the air, although it was inside the rope, but the right boot was on the ground, touching the ground as the ball was in his hands. Should have been 4. 200 comes up with that A little bit of a controversial issue down on the boundary yet, but 200 runs on the board.
Yep, that represents a good score. Add another couple here again. May not get to the boundary, but they all count. Two buys.
Right. So 3 runs in total.
Yeah, it's not been the easiest of experience for these youngsters. You could just see the energy levels coming down because they know that they're not executing as well as they would have hoped. But that's probably the fatigue factor kicking in here. And that is close. That's very close indeed. And he's out. He went right across it there. Abhishek Singh 30. He goes LBW on that occasion there to Budu, hitting right across that one.
And I was wondering, John, the umpire, took quite a long time to adjudicate, making his decision that it was struck in line. And he was almost down on one knee, the batsman, striking on the front pad, playing across the line, trying to paddle sweep or trying to execute a slog sweep. Look at it here again. An impact in line.
It was gonna miss off. It was gonna miss a leg, but it was gonna hit middle clear.
He did not need Hawkeye for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just wondering if the umpire was trying to ensure in his mind that there was no bat involved and making up his mind and deciding that the fourth wicket had to go with 204 runs on the board. And Buru picks up his second wicket now.
Yeah, that was a good delivery because it was on the stump. And again, you miss, I hit. That was in full effect there. And the batsman again, and I suppose at this stage, should the batsman realize, you know, they could take a few more risks now. They're getting into the happy hour, and not that anybody's buying beers or anything like that at this stage, but at this happy hour, you runs is what you're looking for.
It's only Tuesday.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock Sunday.
It's not quite 5 o'clock.
Hello, it's after 5 in Europe. 5 o'clock somewhere.
The bowling has not been all meat and drink.
Yeah. Suhail Ahmed is on, and his first delivery is going to get him off the mark.
And one thing I must point out, the running between the wickets from the Indian batsman as the over comes stand in 206 for four overs to come. We've seen with the Trinidad and Tobago team, there's been a lot of hand signals when it comes to running between the wickets. But if you notice in the Indian batting, there isn't much hand signals because the batsmen are looking at where the ball is going, making up their minds that clearly the run is on. So they've had more experience running between the wickets, the Indian batters from the Deaf Cricket Association. And so you're not seeing a lot of inconsistency in the running, a bit of no indecision in the running either, as both batsmen seem to be, all the batsmen in fact so far have been clear in their minds when the run has been on and when to turn ones into two. So that even while they're running, crossing each other, they're still looking at the field and where the ball is. So it's been excellent running between the wickets as well. Something that the Trinidad and Tobago team can certainly learn from.
Yeah, Mohammed is going to continue here. And what you're talking about there is familiarity. They know, they've seen this before, the Indian batsmen, and they've probably batted together for long, and that's another good shot. But there's a couple out there, and well, what a fine stop that is, because he was going one way, and then Lord had to make a big dive to his left and stop it. He stopped it with both hands. That's brilliant in the field.
Well, the Trinidad and Tobago team have a game, a football match coming up on Friday, June 6th.
They actually played this evening. They played Jamaica today, as we speak.
So a good bit of goalkeeping action there from Joel Lord.
And unlike my good friend from St. Augustine, secondary,
The green machine.
Yep. He was blue in the face after, though.
It's not called no names.
None needed. Again, short. Too much room for him to move up.
Oh no.
And that's a bad miss. Since might get to the boundary.
Oh.
Well, he pulled it back, but I'm not sure he did before it actually hit the rope. So we saw this earlier, and the umpire eventually signaled 4, but it is going to be close. We should take a look at it here, just at the very end. Now, look at how far it. First, he anticipated Adams. He got it all wrong.
But look at Murray here.
Yep. Murray was the one who had to chase after it. And he just, well, the boot is in the way, so we can't really see what is happening. And in the meantime, it's a stifled appeal. But not out, says the umpire.
Yeah, Mahod himself indicating that no, he didn't think it was out to the wicketkeeper. Perhaps. Well, he's in agreement with the umpire and Arain that it wasn't to be out. But the Murrays can be proud of that piece of fielding.
He just got his boot that blocked everything for us. Whether it going into the idea is it went very close to the rope, and whoa, playing a miss there. Normally he would probably just nudge that and run. And I think at this stage, no, they're probably going to maybe change the gears a little bit here.
And that is the type of bowling Mohammed was showing from that end. He started from that southern end and was quite comfortable and went past the bat on a couple of occasions, got the ball to spin. He came back in, he was taken out of the attack, bowled 1 over and was punished from the northern end, but now seems to be comfortable again bowling from that southern end.
And a big outside edge. There is no third man. It's going to come. It's rolling, but it will get to the boundary. And Adams is going to catch up with it to limit them to just the 2 runs.
It's a moral victory there for Mohammed. Finishing off his spell of 4 overs, 1 for 30. And apart from the 1 over where he went for 16 runs.
Here's that fielding opportunity again. No, did it or didn't it? No, it's close. Look at where the boot comes down. It actually hit the rope.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it just hit the rope. But the hand was there as well. And but I don't think the rope is an extension of the hand. So,
well, he is long, but
not that long.
But it was an excellent piece of fielding from the young man. He's been, I want to say, quite good in the outfield in terms of attacking his speed in the outfield. He did put a catch down, but was one that was traveling very quickly to him, trying to move forward and take the catch. And he did have one go through his legs as well, but for the most part, he's been quite good in the field, apart from those 2 incidents.
Subhan bowls and a wide delivery. The wicketkeeper took it from the person, but you could imagine Singh there. He must have been thinking he missed out.
No, most definitely.
Whoa, that jumped. The wicketkeeper actually couldn't get the glove up in time. Lack of pace again, forcing the batsman to have to wait.
First over. Rohan Subdan back into the attack. First over going for 18 runs.
Again, they have to be careful here because what it is now, 2:15, and we're starting over number 18 here. So these next couple deliveries, they have to be very, very spot on. And again, they're taking a little while to make the adjustment in the field, or adjustments. There's a long on, a deep mid wicket. Well, there are 3 men in a line here on the boundary. And one of them is going to become coming into play here quickly, but Lord is behind it. And he gets a deserved round of applause from the bowler. Sudan not for 21.
So 91, Virendra Singh in as we near the close. He'll be looking forward to getting 100.
That's a brilliant shot, but an even better stop. Now, did he know anything about it? We would never know. But that was traveling back to the bowler.
Probably inspired by that Trinidad and Tobago game against Jamaica, showing his foot skills. That was hit hard back at him.
Another one is in the air, but it's going to bounce and turn away. And again, having to make a quick adjustment there is Lokan. And Jokan rather, trying to get around it. But the ball, once it's sliced like that, it's going to pitch and turn.
And to his credit, both himself and Lord have not been involved in too much fielding out in the deep, so they're staying focused. Sometimes if the ball is not coming to you, you tend to lose concentration.
I used to be glad. Here's one.
What a truth.
Yeah. The ball don't come to you, especially when you're out in the boundary, then you're happy.
You used to enjoy feeling a fine leg.
Actually, I suppose is my catching ability, so I used to feel close to the wicket most times. But every so often, I used to take a little run around. Oh, that's a big, almighty heave there. And you see what I tell you all? You could be agricultural any part of the world. And that was a real agricultural swipe there. And he missed everything.
For the first time in the innings, we've seen such a type of shot, taking his eyes off the ball, trying to get more power than timing. And the ball is wide outside the off stump. He's trying to fetch it into the onside. So those two things were not in his favor, making no contact. 18 gone 2, 19 for 4.
I don't criticize him too much for that, because next thing you know, you bring out a big bat and you bring out this 6 hitting bat.
Allah, Mr. Dhoni falls for the one with the orange rubber, the orange grip on it.
And next thing, the ball goes sailing out the ground. All parts of the oval here.
He had free license being the final delivery in the over, knowing that his captain would have been on strike on 94 with the start of the new over. Mr. Bonio is into the attack. Deep point, long off, long on, deep mid wicket, and deep backward square to the left-handed batsman.
And he's driving this one again. It's in the air. They're going to get another single. That's good running. Again, despite the brilliant bit of fielding, first there was a hint of a catch, but it was dropping short. And Adams did very well to knock it down and then get the return in.
Throw went to the wrong end because the non-striker came on rather quickly. It would have been the captain struggling to get to the non-striker's end, and that is the man you should have been trying to run out on 94.
Yeah, he's still there. His partner Ahmad is on 6. And he'll stay on 6, play on a miss.
Just keeping an eye on the field. There are a couple of fielders moving around while the bowler is in his run-up. That occasion, the captain just not just moving, but he's going backwards to the boundary while the bowler was in his run-up. And had the umpire seen that, it would have been a dead ball.
Yep. And that's brilliantly hit, hard and straight. The bowler just put his hands up, but he must be saying, thank goodness it didn't hit anything there. And it flew down to the boundary for 4 runs.
I think he ensured that he put his hands up after the ball was way past him. It seems almost as an afterthought. It was hit with such power. And a smile to the face of Borneo.
He's saying a little bit lower, I might have been in trouble here. That was hit really hard.
Don't know why umpire Narain was ducking. He was never in any danger.
You know, he probably didn't want the hat to get wet or to get hit. There's another one. This time there is cover out there. Again, trying to tug that one from just outside the off stump and with no pace on it, which is good bowling. Batsman is the one you're asking to apply the power and the muscle on it.
So they've seemed to have the field placing in more control in the last 5 overs or so. Not too many changes in the field. Everybody seems to know now where they were supposed to have been or where they should go next. And a lot more settled in terms of the changing around in the field. Didn't mean there was a bit of a learning curve, shall we call it that, in the middle overs.
Yeah, you'd have to say, and that is the lack of preparation together as a unit. And that's hit nicely into the gap. That two is going to run away for 4 runs through that extra cover region. That's 4 good-looking runs there. So he inches closer and closer.
But this is going to be a very special 100 if he gets there. Not to put the mockers on him on 19. My apologies in advance. 1 run short. He's on strike.
And but look at how he gets his 100. Well, well, well. In the most unusual of circumstances, he hit the ball. The bowler fielded brilliantly and then had a shot at the stumps. He hit the stump. The ball then ricocheted away and they were able to complete the single. And this is why he's so happy because he's gotten 100 of 51 balls.
What an excellent knock there from the captain leading in front. He was at the crease when they lost 2 early wickets, saw through the pressure in the early overs and then started to motor on, taking the total early on from just around 30 or so, seeing it through all the way to the 19th over, getting to 100, and he wasn't content just to push the ball around. He decided to go in the air. He's timed the ball well. He's found the gaps. And 14 fours, an indication of how well he's found the gaps in the field. And an excellent 100 from the captain, 231 for 4. What an excellent tour. He will go back on good memories for him when he heads back down to India.
Yeah, 51 balls faced and 14 fours and a 6 in that innings. So more opportunities for them to keep scoring here. A wide.
So it's going to be a pre-license here now for Suhail Ahmad.
We're in the last over, so he's going to have to go for broke here now. And there he goes, and there it goes. Up and under, up and over, 6 runs.
He's going for broke, trying to break some windows there in the stands, in the upper tier of the Constantine stand. And Rohan Subdan, he's the man entrusted bowling this final over. And what would his line and lengths be here, Ruskin? Because both batters are on the go.
He has no pace, and so he has to be spot on. And right up in the block hole he goes this time for single. Now, if they were aggressive with their running, they might have been able to force a second run. But I think they're happy. The captain, though, might have other ideas. 240 on the board. He may want to try to get it up to 250 if possible.
Yes, and that is very much on the cards here. No offense to Mr. Rohan Subdan, but such has been the aggression from the captain.
And really trying his luck there to go inside out, maybe. There is no one covering down that from that backward point. In fact, the man on the boundary is a deep extra cover. And he's gone long again, and that's gone over the long off region for another maximum.
That is an effortless 6 from Virendra Singh, just picking it up, all timing. And such was the timing, it cleared the boundary road by some way. Not as far as Ruskin Mark's car on the roadway behind us.
Car is right behind us there, you know. So if he doesn't want to go back to India. Yep.
Well, Friday is Indian arrival day in Trinidad and Tobago.
He might be departing Friday.
So there's a lot of celebrations across the country for Indian Arrival Day on Thursday night. All the parties will be on the way, and it will be a celebration for the captain here. He goes in the air.
Yep, this one is high. Who's getting under it? He's in a knot there. He never looked like he was comfortable to take the catch. He was trying to get there, Budu, and he got there, but he couldn't hold on to it.
It's a tough catch for anybody, even in international cricket. It was high up in the air, into the clouds.
Look at him on the ground he covered. He got there, and he just didn't seem settled under it to take it, to accept it. Would have really had to stick. And Singh again, just going hard. Here they are again, thinking of a second run, and they're gonna go for it too. And he hits the stump. That should be out. Yes, he is. And with pushing there, Ahmad, for all it's worth, he goes run out for 18. But it's really a moot case now. He was really trying to pinch a second run there. And you could see him eyeing it all the way to see if there was going to be a bubble in the field, or if they were going to get an overthrow. And they might have just snuck it in, but it was fair run out. Good work again from the bowler to make sure that he hit it, Shubman. So he goes run out for 18. Singh. Verinder Singh is not out on 108. Brilliant effort on his part.
249 for 4. We'll just confirm with the official scorers that the target for the Trinidad and Tobago team should be 250 for victory, but one an innings from the captain and not out as well, 108, deciding to come back for the second run with that fumble. Yeah, they have made the correction, 250. So the 250 does come up with that single. And just clarifying that the run out was for the second run and not the first, hence one run to the total. And just one stump to aim at Subdan, and he managed to strike it. He needs to take that into account when he's bowling as well to be as accurate. But 250 for 5 represents an excellent score in 20 overs by the Indian Deaf Cricket team with a run rate of 12.50. And the captain, 108, an excellent knock as well from Krishna Gowda. He got to 54 before he was out. An excellent caught and bowl chance by Christopher Guman Singh. And must make special mention as well of Abhishek Singh. He made 30 runs and he looked quite good out there batting in partnership with his captain to get that total to 250. So it's been a steep learning curve for the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers as well, conceding a couple boundaries almost every over with the exception of a couple overs from Mohammed and Guman Singh. But a tough task here for the Trinidad and Tobago team. They just could only manage 50 runs in a rain-interrupted game when they were batting the Trinidad and Tobago team on Sunday, a game that was reduced from 50 overs to 30 overs. So they're going to have it all to do. Captain Devon Thomas and company, and Nicholas Mohammed as well, 22 runs in that game on Sunday. A lot would depend on him as well as Jamel Bonyo in that middle order. So Ruskin, 250 for 5 after 20.
They can come back as soon as they reply. As Trinidad gets ready to start their reply, needing 251 to win.
Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation. Cancer, whether you have it or your doctors are looking for it, only a PET scan can give the critical details. First world countries now use PET scans instead of CT scans. Get the right scan. Get a PET scan. Call us for a free consultation.
Thank you very much as we welcome you back here to the Queen's Park Oval. We're getting ready for the Trinidad and Tobago reply as they look to chase down 251 for a victory. That's after India posted a solid 250 for 5. Leading from the front, the captain, Virender Singh, 108 not out. That's the big news from the first innings of this game. That's after Trinidad and Tobago won the toss and opted to bowl first. Gowda made 54, and the other Singh, Abhishek Singh, made a splendid 30 before he departed. But 251 to win now, and Billy, this is not going to be an easy ask for Trinidad and Tobago, given what we've seen from the Indian bowlers.
Yeah, definitely the Indian seamers have been quite accurate in their lines and lengths. They have gotten the ball to swing around in the air as well. And Vivek Kumar, he has certainly gotten the ball to move around, and he is even starting with 2 slips in place for the first delivery to be bowled to the captain, Devon Adams.
And quick shot, good contact as well. Unfortunately, he doesn't place it.
Well, the captain Adams was very circumspect in the 50-over affair that was reduced to 30 overs. He was almost dormant in that innings, batting first for Trinidad and Tobago on Sunday, but he'll definitely want to be in a different frame of mind here. And he's going to have an opportunity. If anything is on his pads, to just two on the onside.
And that's a gorgeous delivery. Look at the lift that one got. It jumped over the glove and went through to be taken by the keeper.
Yeah, he had to move across to his right, the wicket keeper, with the additional bounce as well. An excellent take from him in the end. Look at it. He is set to receive deliveries, moving away from the left-handed Adam, and that one just holding its line. And he's even adjusted the slips as well as himself in position after that delivery.
And there might have been a single there, but they were so late in making a decision that it was all gone by then.
And that was the problem on Sunday with Adams. He wasn't able to put the balls away or maneuver the balls into the gaps. Those were angled into his pads or even on the line of the leg stump from right arm over the wicket to him. He's not able to break the wrist to turn the ball into the onside or even go across the line properly to put away those deliveries.
Again, he's on the front foot. Some confusion here, and they tried to make a decision. He's out, run out. Well. A lot of hesitation. Yes, no, yes, no. And then they decided that, okay, let's go for it. And would you believe that the fielder decided that he was going to throw to the wicketkeeper's end? Then he said, no, let's go to the bowler's end. And then he said, okay, why not? Let's go back to the wicketkeeper's end. And they still managed to run out there.
Well, I think in hindsight, they both knew that run was not on. But Adams hesitated, then came, then stopped again, and Tobias was looking for a response from his captain as whether to come through or not. And by the time Adams had eventually made up his mind to come through for the run, the ball was already in the hands of the fielder and on its way to the wicketkeeper. And he has to go without having faced a ball and a very big blow. But it has to be said, more continuation of what we saw on Sunday in terms of running between the wickets. And we saw it with the Indian team. Ruskin, you were saying that they were so accustomed to batting with each other that there was no signals when it came to running. There was no hand or gesticulation as whether to come through for a run or no, because they instinctively knew when the runs was on. They kept an eye on where the ball was in the field in terms of with respect to where the fielders were and knew when to come through for the runs. So the Trinidad and Tobago team, they're going to have to learn very quickly how to run between the wickets and perhaps take a page out of the books from the Indian batters.
Yeah, they have to. There's a lot they could learn from this series, because if they say once they use their eyes, they will see how the Indian players go about doing what they do and doing it so well. And certainly a good opportunity for them to really, as I say, just look at it and see, admit to themselves that look, this is a much better team than we are right now, but it doesn't say that we can't get to this level. And try and learn as much as they possibly can from this whole experience here. Punched away nicely. That could be 4 runs. That's a good shot. That's a boundary for Trinidad and Tobago. And it's that man there again showing, just like he did on Sunday, Nicholas Mohammed, showing that he does have a penchant for scoring runs.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the more proficient players on the Trinidad and Tobago team with bat and ball. And that is a clear indication by the fact that he opened the bowling as well as comes into the batting at in the one down position. So he does have good capability with the ball and with the bat and showing his wares there, going up and under. He got one when he first came out to bat, a short wide delivery that lifted outside the off stump. There wasn't much feet movement in that, but this time made the accommodation to step across, get under it, and put it away for four. And they'll need some much more positive batting from everyone in this lineup who makes their way out to the crease if they are to get anywhere close to this total.
Yeah, it's gonna be, this is Sanju Sharma. That's a beauty. Well, well, well. Look at the movement in that. That ball started as if it was going outside the off stump, and then it just ducked back in between bat and pad and timber.
Well, Adams had no answer to that delivery at all. His first delivery on the tour, Sanju Sharma coming into the team, replacing Vaibhav Kumar, the leg break bowler. Have a look at this delivery, swinging back in banana shape, angling outside of the off stump, coming back in, hitting between off stump and middle stump, crashing into the stumps. And Adam was nowhere near it, going through a very big gap between bat and pad. And Trinidad and Tobago team loses their captain with 4 runs on the board and the second wicket down.
Well, the amount of movement, and that was late movement too. And I think that is what kind of did him in here. He was trying to play down the original line. The ball went right through the gate and knocked back the stumps. What a feature! And that's his first ball. And that might have been the warm-up ball. Look at how that ball moved. Pitched just outside the off stump and came roaring back. By the time he got the bat down, the ball was already through the gates.
That reminds me of the opening bowler for India, Pravin Sharma. Used to get that ball, Pravin Kumar used to get that ball to swing around prodigiously. And conditions here at the Queen's Park Oval with cloud cover. And it's been a damp day out there in the middle, and he's certainly taking advantage.
And Jamal Bonio is out there.
So 2 slips, backward point, extra cover mid off. Other fielders on the offside with a third man in place as well, and a fine leg and a mid wicket in place on the onside.
And again, it's a repeat. Again, the same delivery, only this time to the right-hander, and he too was playing down the line, one middle stump, and then the ball moved past the outside edge, flipped the off stump on the way through, and that's 2 wickets in 3 deliveries.
Well, they've shown difficulty in playing balls that don't move, and playing balls swinging of this nature is quite a handful here for Borneo. He was no way in line, put his foot straight down the wicket, retracted the front leg, it turned him inside out, and the bowler was actually celebrating before the ball hit the stumps because he knew what was going to happen. And that type of shape, that banana shape on the ball, is going to prove to be a big handful here for the Trinidad and Tobago team. 3 wickets down, 4 runs on the ball. The umpires just coming together, and a bit of a delay in the new batter coming out to the middle.
They'd have been pressing the players to speed up the game a little bit more, especially the Trinidad and Tobago team in the field. Their field placing, they took a little while to get players into position and to figure out what exactly who was appealed where. And like I said, when they get the experience and that becomes automatic sometimes. Um, right now it's not automatic; it's still new to a lot of them. So you find there's a lot of to in and fro in. As you say, they want one thing and then they might change it and do something else, and then they're not happy with that, so they go back to what they had originally, or and then you have so many cooks, so many different people wanting to make decisions
Well,
to who should feel where at any given time.
not wanting to make excuses for young Orion Murray, but he would not have anticipated being out there to bat with just 9 balls gone in the innings, coming in at number 5 rather.
And this is another one that's as close as a lot of peeling is out. Wow, wow, wow. Back to back wickets. And you look at the young man there, he has his hand in the air as if to say, another wicket. And I called it. He was spot on. Now it's 4 for 4. I don't even think I could get Okros for that price now in town.
Well, it's the same delivery, Ruskin. It's pitching, it's angling, he's aiming at middle stump and getting the ball to swing across the off stump. It struck him in front, looking like the height would have been a question, but he's stuck on the crease, Murray. And with the type of form that Sanju Sharma is in with the ball, umpire Narain, who has the best view and is probably closer to any umpire in terms of judging height, and he adjudicated that that one was going to hit the top of off stump.
Yeah, look at
Might
the
have
back
just
foot.
been clipping.
Yeah, look at the back foot. He went back in the crease, so he's deep in the crease. And the ball really, he beaten for pace as well. Never got the bat in behind the line of the ball. Like you said, the height might have been an issue, but it could very well have been clipping the stump, the bail. So the umpire gave the batsman the benefit, the bowler the benefit of the doubt here. And Trinidad and Tobago, as we say, in dire straits, and we're not making records right now.
Well, it's going to be a hat trick delivery for Sanju Sharma. He's already picked up 3 in the over. His figures reads 3 wickets for no runs, and we can't even call it a maiden yet because he hasn't even completed his first over.
And he has broken the back of the Trinidad and Tobago team. And
And it's a bad delivery,
yeah, in
Ruskin.
the general scheme of things, you'll say that's a bad delivery. But even though he doesn't concede a run and the batsman doesn't make contact with it, but he didn't have to play at it because it was so wide. And you ask yourself, why did he change what he was doing all along? Now he may very well come back here and get a wicket with this delivery. And there's another one, plumb in front. No, says the umpire. And that one might have been just either starting outside leg stump or going down the leg. But what an over. A first over at that. Brilliant indeed. And at the end of it, the Trinidad and Tobago team, they're rocked right now. They're 4 for 4.
Well, it's a triple wicket maiden for Sanju Sharma and Ruskin Vaibhav Kumar, who took, I think, 6 wickets on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He was dropped. And Sanju Sharma came into the lineup. Now, they replaced a leg break bowler with a swing bowler, a fast bowler at that. And what an inspired change and accepting the responsibility, Sharma, in three folds coming into the team. And it's not easy coming into the team replacing somebody who would have taken wickets. You know, the fans would have been questioning, why would you drop this player? He's our main wicket taker. But certainly justifying the selection, Sandhu Sharma, with 3 wickets.
Well, Vivek Kumar is probably going to get jealous here now and try and see if he can pick up something to shout about. And not aggressive shot here. Throwing the bat at it here.
And those 3 wickets would have fallen after Nicholas Mohammed on the opposite end in the previous over crashed the ball into the boundary for 4. And he stood helplessly at the non-striker's end in that over of Sharma, looking at 3 wickets falling.
He might have been happy to be done at that end too. Cracked away again, a bit of misfielding there, but he's going to get one and might get a second, should get a second. And actually,
well, had that hit,
he would have been out.
Had that hit, he was a gunner.
Brilliant bit of fielding, and it's that man he's in the thick of everything out there now. He just broke the back of the Trinidad and Tobago batting, and he almost executed a run out here.
Such is his accuracy, Ruskin. Even from 60 yards away, he can still hit that off stump.
It was close. And they'll take that. Thank you very much. A wide delivery there, trying to probably push it into that leg stump.
Yeah, coming back to that final appeal from Sharma in the last delivery of his over. And he started it a little too wide, middle stump, middle and leg stump. And at times when you start it that far on the pads, the ball does not come back. And the umpire judging that one would have been angling down the leg side. Starts it around middle. Vivek Kumar, is it this time?
And again, a wide signal by the umpire. So 2 in this over so far. We had wickets in the last over. We have wides in this over.
Yeah, in stark contrast to the accuracy of Sanju Sharma.
I still have to go back to that hat trick ball, you know.
I'm still stuck on the Okro comment.
How do you bowl that delivery? You know, for a hat trick ball.
He was trying to engage the slips, Ruskin.
He goes again.
Oh no.
And that one is gone all the way to 4 wides.
And they just dropped the wrong bowler. Leaving Vaibhav out of the attack. But Vivek is just struggling with this over. 3 wides, a hat trick of wides.
And this is probably why that's probably the pressure from Sharma's over at the other end. He probably feels that he has to do something here now to get his name in the papers. And right now, it's not going too well for him. But that will help. But that's a gorgeous
That's
shot.
not going to help Ruskin.
At least he got the line better. And crashed away there again by Mohammed.
It's all stand and deliver here from Nicholas Mohammed. He is in the peak of form currently. The last game as well as this one, and punishing Vivek, who thought he would have gotten that one right, but just spanked it to the left of mid-off and into the boundary. It raced across the outfield.
That's a great shot. And that one goes, that thing might have hit the inside edge as well. And actually, no, it's buys, says the umpire. But I thought for a moment it might have just hit the inside edge. He was swinging for the fences. And, you know, there are no half measures. You could see Mohammed is indicating that he got a touch onto it.
Yeah, the wicketkeeper as well was disappointed in that call from the umpire, indicating that it perhaps came off of something off of either pad or bat. Seems pad.
It's a pad. The umpire said buys rather than leg buys. That's good movement. You see that ball hitting and carving away, climbing as well. Good bunks, good carry.
Well, have they taken the second slip out with all of those deliveries angled into the pads down the leg side, and they've put him at
Short point.
short point?
Well, maybe they know that he will probably make the adjustment. So they're just putting the fielder there to encourage him to bowl on the off stump. This one is again, he's trying to hike it over mid wicket, rushed onto him, and didn't make the kind of contact that he wanted. The end of the over, 21 for 4 at the end of over number 3.
So a good recovery over for the Trinidad and Tobago team off of the bat of Nicholas Mohammed. And it was a good call from him there not to come through for the single, although he might have wanted to be on strike, or as you suggested, Ruskin, he doesn't want to face up to Sanju Sharma quite yet. We have another look at this dismissal.
That's the first one. That's the Captain Adams. He just dismantled him. They never got the bat into line.
Reminds me very much of Pravin Kumar, former Indian opening bowler.
This time, he's very close this time to an LB. The umpire says not out again. Now, did he get the bat down in time? The fielders are bewildered at the moment because they don't understand how that is not out. And again, unless it hit the bat.
Did it sound very woody?
The bowler probably felt he had a wicket there. That was the other LBW from the previous over. And that's nicely played. But just a single to them. So, which is unusual off the bowling of Sharma.
He does come through for the single, Mohammed, opting to not take the single of the last ball of the last over, and just as well, because they've had enough difficulties running between the wickets. He's going to have to face up to the bowling of Sanju Sharma now, cognizant of the fact that he is getting away swing.
And yes, hitting the hand of the bowler. And
but that would have been close had that hit. I think he accepted his fate there, Nicholas Mohammed. It was a late call. And remember, there's no verbal calling out there. It's just hand signals, as in contrast to the Indian batters who instinctively knew whether the run was on or not. So it was a late call after it came off the hand, and good fielding, it has to be said. Quick to it, and just a tad bit too high.
He would have been out run. He'd have been out by a mile. Again, another ball. This could be a run out here.
Oh, my goodness.
Easy.
My goodness.
And Mohammed came racing down, and Jokan was not interested. And Mohammed will have to go disappointingly. So he goes run out.
And very disappointing indeed. We were just mentioning the fact that he opted not to take risky singles of penultimate over. This time he is not looking at his partner. He is calling his partner through for the run from the non-strikers end. His partner is continuously sending him back, indicating that he was not running Jason Jokham, and there was no reason why Nicholas Mohammed would have continued running. It was not a run either. You just saw how quick the fielder at mid-off was to get a run. And on this occasion, it went almost straight to him. As we look at it here again, the pace was knocked off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sending him back. He's not looking at his partner. It's straight to the field, man, and it's not a run.
And then not only that too, yeah, he was looking at the fielder. He was he took a glance at his teammate, but then he took his eyes off of him and put his entire focus on the fielder, as if to see if he was going to execute the play, and he did that well enough. And he went for what, 12, was it?
10, 11? 11.
He went for 11. So big blow for Trinidad and Tobago. And here's another beauty. That one came right through. Actually, might have hit the pad on the way through. But boy, that one flushed through there. And I don't think he even knew where the ball passed.
Well, Jason Jokham is waving his hand no to the umpire and the fielders that no, he did not hit it. taking his hand off the bat to indicate to everybody via his own form of sign language that no, he did not hit it. So if umpire Avinash Narayan was in any doubt,
Yeah.
the batsman is confirming
I
that he
guess
did it.
no in sign language is still no in any language.
Well, he indicated no for the run, but the wicket still fell.
Another beautiful delivery just outside the off stump there, and it goes through to take everything by the keeper and the over. And boy, the carnage is done here. 23 for 5. Trinidad and Tobago after 4 overs.
Well, it all happened in that over. Nicholas Mohammed, he was going guns, timing the ball well, putting away bad deliveries, putting away a good delivery from Vivek Sharma down the ground for 4, and coming through for a single. And this was the difference between the running between the Indian batsmen and the running between the Trinidad and Tobago batsmen. You saw no hand signals from the Indian batters, and they knew instinctively when the run was on. And they were just looking at the fielders, looking at their fellow batsmen as well when they were running between the wickets. In stark contrast, the Trinidad and Tobago team, they are not looking at each other when they are running. They're just using a lot of hand signals to try and come through for the run. And their hands were never in agreement with that run from Nicholas Mohammed. He was being sent back by Jokan, and he continued to look at the fielder and not his partner running, and was run out by a long, long way.
Well, Nanda is the new bowler, and he starts with a wide. So Trinidad and Tobago will need all of those as much as they possibly can get, because this is turning out to be a real tough start to this reply for them. Remember, the target is 251 for a victory. They've lost half the team and they only have 24 runs on the board. And again, outside that off stump. So this is, like I said, it's because I think you understand where the Trinidad and Tobago team is and where the Indian team is. You could understand why you're seeing such disparity in the performances from them. The Indian team looks like a well-oiled machine. They just hand the ball to any bowler, and they just come up through the business. They go to bat, and everybody shapes as if they went to the same school with Virat Kohli.
So much so that the new bowler, Saibun Nanda, he is into the team, replacing Ankit Jangir from the last game on Sunday.
And didn't play, not the most elegant of defensive pushes, but he kept it out. And in the general scheme of things, that's well done.
That's a solid forward defensive, Ruskin Mark. Off the toe of the bat, albeit a full toss.
Yep, look at the knee, the right knee, the bat, everything is in behind. Right out in front again. Very accomplished.
It's going to be a picture on the back page of the Guardian tomorrow.
Yeah. And what I like about this as well is the fact that this should inspire so many more, including girls, who have hearing impediments, to be able to dream about representing Trinidad and Tobago again in another discipline, in a sport like cricket. And because I'm looking at the people around, even the spectators, they they seem so happy to see the players out there. They know that they probably overmatched at the moment, but that doesn't take away any of their shine.
And they will only get better, Ruskin, as they continue to compete at this level in particular against strong teams. You have to look at the positives, and a lot of work, try to work on in the training sessions, in the nets, out on the field, as well as the overcome standing 24 for 5 after 5, just 1 over left in the power play. And they have to take good notes of what are the things that they have to work on now that they are seeing it whilst playing out there in the middle. And they have to have the right people tasked with the job of working on these things with the coach Ryan and Devindra Maraj out there, as well as Anthony Critchlow. to work on these things and under the guide of Colin Board as well, who has a lot of experience with the CPL, with the TKR in training sessions and so on, to impart their knowledge onto coaches and onto the players for improvements in the future.
Two slips in there, and again a stifled appeal. And well, I'm not sure why they're still appealing, but the umpire has long said not out. But Sanju Sharma, really, 3 wickets for 2 runs. He's in his third over, and he could get a couple more. And that's a peach of a delivery. That one was climbing this time, and the batsman is on the move. And the only problem is he's going one way and the ball is going the other.
Yeah, there's pace, there's movement, and on this occasion there's bounce from Sanju Sharma.
He's not a big man. He reminds me of Madame Lal. Madame Lal bowled and pressed here at the Oval. Well played. Now that's a defensive shot played with the right foot coming in behind the bat.
It's a backward forward defensive, Ruskin. Clegg.
At least he's getting everything behind.
Well, they do say get your back leg in line with the
Yep.
delivery, and he did just that,
Yep,
to his credit.
He's as square as they come, though. He's a prime candidate for an LBW. And here's another appeal. Not out, says the umpire. The bowler is pleading for a wicket.
But he struck somewhere. Can't quite see exactly where. He's just rubbing the inner thigh on his left leg.
Yeah, it's he lost his shape. Let's just put it that way as a batsman. Kind of an ugly looking shot he was trying to play there. I'm not sure where and that was very close. Let me put it this way. I don't think it was close at all. That should have been out. That was right in front of the off stump, and the umpire probably was probably thinking the movement. He probably figured the movement might have taken it away. But boy, oh boy, look at where he's positioned. He's batting leg stump, probably even outside leg. The ball touched down middle and off. Oh, that was going to hit middle and off as well.
His back leg became the front leg, and he umpire thinking he was struck outside, Ruskin.
There's another beauty. Does he hit an edge? There's an appeal, not outside, but look at the pace. That ball just took off. And it really climbed. And like I said, these are shades of Madan Lal here when he bowled Vivian Richards through the gate, and the whole oval was stunned into silence. But again, look at the pace on this delivery and the movement as well.
This is top quality bowling here from the young man. Probably height question for umpire Narain as to why that was not out.
The height, yeah, the bunks, it took off. But boy, when was the last time you saw the oval generate that kind of pace?
On an international game,
And, yeah, and he's coming off a short run. He's no more than 5'5", and it's really, really warming up the oval here.
Well, he's in that mold, as you mentioned, Lal and Pravin Kumar as well, those swing bowlers that played for India of that type of height and that type of movement as well, and adding pace to it. It's top quality bowling here from the young man. 3 wickets to his name. Nanda to continue coming into the team for this game.
Cadogan is out there. And he's going across that one. The ball is outside the off stump, but he's shaping the plate somewhere in the mid-wicket region.
Yeah, just getting his leg outside of the line, but swatting at it rather than coming down with a high elbow and a straight bat. Trying to pierce the offside that contains 6 fielders, 7 in fact.
And the play on a miss there. Close again. Yeah, this is tough going for Trinidad and Tobago. The batsmen are recognizing that this is a level or two above where they are right now. And they're having a real difficulty just finding the edge of the bat. not so much the middle, just the edge. They're having difficulty finding. And here he's given out. The batsman is saying no, but the umpire has made the call, and now he wants he wants a review. But there is no review here, and Cadogan will have to go out for a duck. It's 24 for 6 now.
And Trinidad and Tobago losing their way, and another wicket falling now. 5 wickets down, 6 in fact, with 24 runs on the board. And the vice captain has to go. As we look at it here again, come brush the glove. And the same glove that he's waving with to the umpire is the one the umpire is telling him that the ball touched. Through to the wicket keeper. And he will go back and have a look at the replay.
So it's 24 for 6.
Yeah, just indicating from our producer, Ronnie Bikram Das, that he was. Ronnie Bikram Das understands the sign language as well, our producer, the ever knowledgeable Ronnie Bikram Das, indicating that Padagon was trying to indicate to the umpire that it did not come off the bat, that probably it hit the glove.
Yep.
And the umpire is saying, yes, it hit the glove, and you're out.
Yeah. No, the umpire saying you're right. It
right,
didn't hit the bat, but it hit the glove. He didn't disagree with Cadogan. But the glove is part of the bat in cricketing terms. So he has to go. So more problems for Trinidad and Tobago here, as 251 seems like an impossibility right now. Unless somebody to come here and light up the oval. It's just after 5 in the afternoon, in the evening. Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica were 2-all with just a couple minutes to go in that friendly international, the Freedom Cup. 3-2 in the end is how it ended. 3-2 Jamaica in the final analysis. So a tough result there. So again, Trinidad and Tobago lost 1-0 to Jamaica. Then they came back and tied 1-all. And then
penalty.
And then it ended at 3-2. So Trinidad and Tobago will play for 3rd place, and Jamaica will go through to the final. The other semi-final is to be played tomorrow. Nigeria and Ghana will play that encounter. The winner will play Jamaica in the Freedom Cup final on Saturday. But we have some more important stuff here. Christopher Guman Singh is out there, and I'm sure he'll be hoping to at least just change the narrative here, get some runs on the board.
Well, there have been 4 dot deliveries in the over, one of them being the loss of the wicket Cardigan. And Guman Singh, tough enough facing Nandu. That's a good shot.
That's brilliant. He hit it on the full, and he's going to get 4 runs.
It's a bad delivery. It's a full toss from Nandu. Erring this time and well put away, just leaning on it. Guman Singh getting good contact off the middle of the bat. Just pushing at it, timing it well, and 4 good-looking runs past the bowler.
Yeah, that might have been a shock to the system there for the Indians. They were so much in control. They're still in control, but that's a good kind of relief valve there for TNT. And more runs. So all of a sudden the floodgates have opened for the men in red. Now it's the end of the over, and so that over comes to an end. I saw the umpire
Trying to communicate
yeah,
as well.
yeah. So I'm thinking, man, we having problems getting runs. So him to now call a dead ball and that now to rob them of that single, but it's 1 run in the end. So 29 for 6 now after 7.
Yeah, he was just probably unsure as well. A ball actually down the leg side, gone down the fine leg. The umpire is saying, what's going on here? Oh, it's the end of the over. 2 fielders. two fielders out on the onside, and the man at straight mid wicket or short mid on has not fielded a ball for the entirety of the innings. And anything that's been angled into the pads has gone down to fine leg. And seven fielders on the offside predominantly. Now we've seen a change in the field. It's going to be three fielders on the onside, one slip, and a new bowler into the attack.
Yep.
Ahmad short.
There's a quick one. Ahmad, Suhail Ahmad is the man who comes into the attack.
And a quick rising delivery first up from the fast bowler, testing out.
Yeah, let's test the middle of the pitch and see what response you're going to get from there. And that is a good bumper. It was right over middle stump. Big effort, but no to contact, not very good at all. So they can't get a run. So this is, you're really seeing the Indian team working out, how to get at these Trinidad and Tobago batsmen. They know they have them in a serious vice grip here, and they're not letting them get out at all. Good lines, and this is the difference with the Indian bowlers compared to the Trinidad and Tobago bowlers. Um, Here you have a bowler who's just coming into his first over, and already look at how consistent his line is, and his lengths. He bowled the two short balls early up, and now he's pushing it up a little further. Again, the line pretty much off stump, just outside the off stump, so the captain could set a field and be comfortable that the bowler is going to follow the plan, and so he doesn't have to be chopping and changing and making too many adjustments in the field after almost every delivery.
Would you have taken out Sanju out of the attack, or you wanted to leave enough wickets for the other bowlers to get at?
That's probably what it is. It's probably a question of let's see what the others, and he might get a run here. He was trying to throw down the stumps, but I don't think the batsman had gone anywhere. So um, it's a funny attempt at a run out there by Akash. But
Well, his back leg was out of the crease, and cheapishly, Akash, they're trying to throw the stumps down. It's a strong, powerful throw, knowing that he had backup, and let it rip.
so you got a single. Jokan is on strike now. Bowled him. Well. It seemed that overthrow worked for India because while they got the single, they also now lose the wicket. So it's going from bad to worse for Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, I was just saying, Ruskin, if they took Sanju off to give the other bowlers the opportunity to bowl and get wickets, and in the first over from Suhail Ahmad, starting with a short pitch delivery, and this time pitching it up, it come off the pad as well, or straight onto the stump, straight onto
Off
the
stump.
side of the off stump, from outside of the off stump, angling in. He was backing away the batsman, didn't get any bat onto it. And it seems as though that was like a warm up bowling practice with no batsman around. Bowling at one stump in the ground. Tip of off.
Yep, good place to bowl. So here's one over, cost him 1 run, and he has a wicket.
Jokande backing away, exposing his stumps, and Suhail Ahmad obliged, getting his first wicket. And the 1 run he did concede was off of an overthrow.
But it worked out in his favor because he got a wicket the next ball. So
did he tell Akash, let me try to bowl the other
let me
batsman?
bowl the other batsman to change.
Oman Singh already struck a 4. Let's try the other end.
That's a good shot, but again, can't get it through the heavily packed offside field.
And Guman Singh is being very positive here, looking to go after anything that is pitched up. He's going to try to get the captain to adjust the field with his attacking shots. So much so, in fact, he succeeds in that the first slip comes out. And, well, Is it more defensive or attacking field, Ruskin? Can you describe this field,
That's
Ruskin?
an attacking field. This time he tugs it on the onside. It's going to get a couple here, not a boundary. So they'll be content with just the 2 runs. Guman Singh doing his part.
I'll attempt to give you the fielding positions on the offside. One shot signal by the umpire, just losing out on the running as well, taking their eyes off of the line where they need to ground to have a look to see if the second one was on and grounding short.
Yeah, careless, that's what that is. Driven hard, but again, can't get it through the gap. It's a nice wall of players there. There's a mid-off, a short extra cover, another extra cover, shorter. There's a cover point or a cover point, and a short, well, a gully, and a fine leg, and a third man rather. There is a fine leg and a mid wicket on the onside. That's the field. A 7-2 field. And we seemed to come around to field the ball, and then it wasn't there. So Mahapatra missing out there came across at mid wicket. And but every time something like that happens, somehow the Indians find a way to make up for it. So I'm
So it's
not
a
buying it.
strategy.
Yeah, it looks like
It's a
yeah,
strategy,
it's a
Ruskin.
plan.
And Mohapatra is in on it.
Yeah.
He had one job to do was to stop it and decided, you know what, it worked the last time.
Let's try it again.
Let's try it again. Look at this field, Ruskin. There's a silly mid-off in place now.
Well played. That's good defensive batting there. Just getting the body into line.
So let's see. Third man, a gully, point, cover point, a short cover, silly mid-off, and a mid-off. That's the best I can describe that, as well as a long leg, 15 yards in from the rope, and a man to give a single at mid-wicket.
Who is walking in with the bowler from just at the edge of the 2 wickets over. But the over comes to an end. He survives, and it remains 32 for 7 now after 9 overs.
So 2 runs in that over. 8 gone, 9 gone in fact, Ruskin. 7 wickets down, and not much to come. India very much on top of it and using the opportunity to rotate their bowlers as well, giving everybody an opportunity to get a run out in the field as well as bowling, because we've seen uh, 3 changes in the team from Sunday. The new bowlers coming in and being successful, Nanda Ahmad as well as Sanju Sharma. So rotating everybody in the team, giving everybody an opportunity to play.
Yep, and it's a long journey to get to Trinidad. So a no ball signaled here. So a free hit to Trinidad and Tobago, and then the throw at the non-striker's end is a powerful one, as if to suggest that there was a chance at a run out there. So keep your eyes on the ball, sir, sons, because Vivek was really adamant that he wanted to throw the stumps down at the non-striker's end.
Amir Budu, Christopher romancing the pair, trying to resurrect the Trinidad and Tobago innings. They've made it almost to the drinks break.
And really, that was agricultural at best.
I said almost.
Yeah, because he was just
Looking
pulling
away,
away. Yeah.
clearing the front leg, trying to work it into the onside. Be there 3 men to beat on the onside. And he would best be advised, firstly, to keep his eyes on delivery and try to get in line.
And again, the ball is rushing onto him. So he's trying to play an attacking shot, but the ball is getting to him so quickly. that it's almost like a baseball player trying to make a big swing,
A punt.
only to find that the ball is like rushing onto him, and he can't really get the swing, complete the swing.
Seems as though he's just trying to get off base, Ruskin. Make it to
Another
first
no
base.
ball. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I think all the batsmen now would love to at least get a couple of runs under their belt, just to give them some confidence. Remember, we have two additional games to go, so this is just one of three T20 between Trinidad and Tobago and India, the Deaf Cricket League, or the Deaf Series, I should say. And you're watching it on 360 TV. That's a good shot. That's an exquisite shot through the offside. There's wide open spaces out there. They go for one. They got touchdown for a second, and I think they'll be happy with that.
yeah, they have to try and realize now with 7 wickets down and still 10 overs plus to come in the innings. You want to try and make use of the opportunity to bat out there. Christopher Guman Singh seems capable enough with the bat, so he's going to have to ask Budu to stick around with him.
And again, bunks. This is really surprising here. This little extra bunks is creating all sorts of problems for the Trinidad and Tobago batsmen, who again, technically are already at a disadvantage. But when you throw in the extra bunks or the bunks in ball, well, that's a dimension that none of them seem capable of adjusting to. Another no ball. Well, well, well.
Well, just as well because he's backing away, exposing his stumps, and Guman Singh is just telling him that now you have an opportunity at a free hit to try and get in line, get some contact with the bat.
Yeah, he's probably going to tell him, what do you think I'm trying to do? That's exactly what he's trying to do. Hasn't been working. And he's bowled it, but that's a no ball. That's a free hit ball. Yeah, that's a free hit ball. Now he's gone walking,
No,
and they can run him out. Well, well, well. He has gone. No, no, umpire is saying dead ball.
yeah, he's not going to give him out the
Yeah,
umpire. He's under the context that
that,
he thinks that he's out.
yeah. But the thing is, he just left. He just left the crease. Yeah, they remember the, was it Bairstow from England? When the wicketkeeper just threw the ball back, and while the ball was in the air, Bairstow went on turning down to cut the crease. The umpire was in a predicament, and the umpire almost had to give him out by under the rules of the game.
Well, I think if you're under the impression that you are out, ball will be signaled dead if you decide to walk because he's not attempting a run. He's walking off thinking that he's been bowled, although he should have known that it was a free
Free
hit
hit, yeah.
and he can be run out off of the no ball. But because he's not attempting the run, the umpire using the rule that he's under the impression that he's out and hence would not be given out.
Yeah, he wasn't aware that with the free hit that it was a free hit ball. In fact, he probably had lost count of that.
And it's not the first time that we've seen that either. Even with players who've been around the game for some time also make that mistake, not realizing that it's a no ball and venture out of their crease to be out, which is why the regulation was brought into place.
So it's 38 for 7 now. 10 overs completed. So we've made it to the halfway stage. And but Trinidad and Tobago, when they look back at this scorecard, this wouldn't make healthy reading for them. 38 for 7. And they still need a further 213 runs. And they have 62 balls in which to get them. And I don't know if so Viv or Lara is coming in next. But that's going to take some getting there. Where's Kelvin Williams when you need him in that regard? But it certainly is a tough ask for them. They already lost the the one-day game on Sunday. It was, and they lost that by 10 wickets. Again, Trinidad and Tobago only amassing 51, and then India needed 52 to win. They got to 56 for no loss. And here today, India posting 250 for 5 with their captain Virender Singh getting a splendid unbeaten 108. And Gowda added 54. And well, here we are. Trinidad and Tobago now in all sorts of trouble. Adams made a duck. Tobias was run out, unfortunately, for a duck. Mohammed also went run out for 11. Jamil Bonio was out for a duck, bowled neck and crop by Sharma, who had 3 wickets in his first over. Orion Murray was also LBW to Sharma for no score. And Jason Jokum also departed. How many did he make? One. And so he broke the sequence of ducks there. And Kadogando couldn't trouble the scorers, so he also went for a duck. And it's up to the pair of Guman Singh and Budu now to try to, as they say,
Resurrect.
well, for want of a better word, yes. I was trying to get a more realistic.
Well, it's coming back from the dead.
It is. It's a tough. As a batsman, it's a hard. You know, what kind of mindset do you come with? You could be positive and just say, look, let me get as many as I possibly can. But then you could also approach it in this way. Look, it's let me just have a swing here. If I hit, I hit. If I don't, no big thing. And you walk off um, quite content the fact that you came out there and you had a swing. But given the fact that one, this is a new, this is an historic occasion for them, and the situation, I suppose, demands the occasion demands that you play the game in a particular way, win, lose or draw.
That
You want to at least put up a fight.
most definitely a lot of investment would have been put in place for the Trinidad and Tobago team. And I was making mention earlier on a couple overs ago that what is the mindset of the batsman out there? So Guman Singh has to have a word with Budu that he has to try and stick around. He should have said it to Jokan as well because he is no bunny with the bat. He is getting to the pitch of the ball. He can make some shots out there, and he looks capable with the bat, Christopher Gumansing. But he has to have somebody to hang around with him there, and the opportunity is there with 10 overs left in the game to try and bat as long as possible and try and build a partnership with Gumansing and get the opportunity to get in some type of form and to try and bat as long as possible, even to try and rotate the strike and give the strike to Gomansing to try and get a total that is somewhat respectable in the innings and perhaps do better than their 50 runs on Sunday. And it is still a long way to go in the game with 10 overs left. So the opportunity is there for the batsmen and for those to come to try and stick around as long as possible.
Well, we have a new bowler, Kuldeep Singh, and immediately he's on target, and that has been one of the impressive things about this Indian team. Almost every bowler comes and they get into their work almost immediately. What a beauty! And that one is a lot of He's on LBW. Well. He just stood there. He wasn't quite sure what was going to happen. He's appealing that it hit the pad. Yes, it hit the pad. That's why he's out LBW, because he was just blocking the stumps. And he has to go back there, Borneo. Or rather, Gumansing. There was no chance for him, really. And you look at it again,
Yeah.
touching right in front of him, just square as they come. The height, though, might have been a consideration, but he was a square. He went right back in the crease, and the umpire took a while and then gave him out. So there goes a big chunk of Trinidad and Tobago's hopes.
Well, so much for that thought of the other batters trying to stick around with Gumansing because it's an appreciable turn as well from Kuldeep Singh with that ball pitching, forcing him onto the back foot and then spinning across him, striking him above the knee roll on the right leg. And umpire Ryan John adjudicating that that would have hit the top of off. And another wicket falls, and Trinidad and Tobago really in dire straits now.
Well, it's Joel Lord who has arrived at the crease here. Can he change the fortunes of Trinidad and Tobago? Making contact but not able to get it into the gap. Nice juicy full toss.
Well, he went across the line of it, made good contact. A little bit of head in the air. Still there.
And a flatter, quicker delivery to mix things up a little bit here. He's not a tall man, Kuldeep Singh. And he's bowled him. Again, having a big swing at it and bowled all over the shop here. So they just handed him the ball, and already he's picked up 2 wickets. It seems like a recurring theme here.
Yeah,
New bowler, wickets.
they might just make it past the 10 over. One ball to come, 2 wickets in the over, and another delivery to come. And Trinidad might just be in a lot of trouble off the inside edge. I said his head was in the air on the previous one and pitched up this time outside of the off stump. The ball is spinning a lot for Kuldeep and off the inside edge, cannoning into the stump. He took his eyes off the delivery, Lord, and he now has to go without scoring. And the final batsman makes his way out to the middle. Rohan Subdan.
Yep.
And there's a slip in place. There is a very short extra cover, just about 10 yards from the batsman, as well as a silly point in place and a gully coming into place now, and a short mid off, as well as on the onside, a short mid wicket pitching position.
And badly lined delivery. They will get a single here. Is it a bye or leg bye? Might have brushed the pad. Yep. And so they'll get the leg bye. So that pushes the score to 39 for 9 Trinidad and Tobago. So Singh, Budu now waits and looks very comfortable as he stands up to this one. No question here about run scoring or keeping up with the asking rate or anything like that. This is about pure survival here for Trinidad and Tobago. 38 for 9 now.
Yeah, seems as though the rush hour is on in Port of Spain and in and out of the pavilion as well. 9 wickets down for 38. The 8 wicket fell as well.
Mm-hmm. That was Guman Singh. He went for what, 9? And so it's been a tough afternoon for Trinidad and Tobago. And so what, they have 2 slips here now. They have a backward point, a cover point, short extra cover, and a middle. But they're all very close in. And a big swing and a miss. A nice, juicy, flighted delivery just outside the off stump. Now the umpire is asking, the shadows are really stretching across the ground, so they're asking the players not to be on the wicket. Yeah. So India on the verge here of another victory. And there's another one coming in, and he's out. The finger, that dreaded finger, is going up there, and Rohan Chubman is out LBW for no score, and yet another duck registered here, and a fine display here from the Indian bowlers, and it is the skipper Virender Singh who came on and did the business there.
Yeah, as if he hadn't done enough in the game already to put his team in a strong position. He waited until it was just one more wicket to fall to ensure that he seals the man of the match trophy. The
I thought there was any doubt.
Just as in that LBW decision, he confirms the matter and picks up the final wicket, which would bring a close to the innings for the Trinidad and Tobago. They've made it through 11 overs and just amassing 38 runs. The most promising batsman of the innings was that of Nicholas Mohammed, as well as Christopher Gumansing on this occasion, getting into double digits. The rest really fell away, and it was thanks to the bowling of the new introduction into the team, Sanju Sharma, picking up 3 wickets in his first over, and they really had no answer to his bowling, as well as no answer to coming back into the innings, as well as Ahmad coming into the attack and Nandu coming into the attack. And as Ruskin Mark said, with every bowling change came the fall of a wicket. And they were all prepared to take advantage of a weak Trinidad and Tobago batting lineup, falling for just 38 runs, showing their superiority in this contest, in this T20 affair, as well as in the ODI, just a one-off match. The ODI, the 50 over game, being reduced to 30 overs in a rain affected encounter and showing their superiority on tour to Trinidad and Tobago, the Indian Deaf team, and taking a 1-0 lead in the T20 series in the best of 3. And the Trinidad and Tobago with a lot to work on, Ruskin Mark. A win by 211 runs, sealing victory.
So yeah, so 211 run, the margin of victory here, and really it just shows the gulf between the two teams. And but more importantly, the Indians take a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series, in the T20 series. And you know, when we got here today, it was rainy, it was gloomy, things didn't look very good, but it turned out to be a pretty good afternoon into the evening. And I think both teams would be happy that they got this much play in and they have a result, and it wasn't up to anything else other than the fact that the performance on the team. So the players, the Trinidad and Tobago players, saluting their spectators, their crowd, their supporters, and but they will be bitterly disappointed that for the second game running, their batting has let them down badly, and the bowlers not much better, but at least it's one of the areas where they show the most promise, which is in the bowling. They took a few good catches today. They dropped several as well, but the ones that stuck, they were excellent catches. And so they have areas, but as we say, with a team that is as green as this one is, that they're really now learning the rudiments of the game, and you could see it in the way that just their whole body language on the field, the way they approach the ball sometimes. You know, we saw guys walking in when they should be standing their ground on the boundary to probably take catches. Yeah, at other times, you know, they're not running in, and they're leaking runs. The field placing, that is something that they're going to have to take a long, hard look at how they work out who's going to be where so that they don't use up that much time to set fields out there, you know, in the future games. But all of that's not going to come overnight. But what this whole exercise does, that one, it tells them, shows them what is possible, and now they have targets to aim at. This is the level that we want to get to, and you know, the hard work now starts.
Most definitely, there are a lot of positives to work with for a team that has just been assembled, and some highlights from some of the players, uh, from Mohammed as well as Guman Singh. Both players with bat and ball showed a lot of potential and ability to compete against this very strong Indian team. But there are aspects of the game to work on in terms of, as you said, the captaincy, the field placing, and most definitely the running between the wickets. It's been a downfall of the team, and they're going to have to work on it very quickly. And as we said, they can't take a page out of the book from the Indian team, because their running between the wickets was almost instinctive and seamless, and at no risk either, battling with the fact that there is no verbal communication for running between the wickets. So they have mastered the ability to run between the wickets by virtue of just looking, paying attention, knowing when the run is on. And that is something the Trinidad and Tobago team will have to learn very quickly if they are to be more competitive in the series, as well as they have to work on their batsmanship ability. We saw that the Indian team looked very technically sound with their batting. We've only seen glimpses of the batting of the team, because we haven't yet seen all of the players bat, but the top order certainly are very prolific, very skilled in the fundamentals of batsmanship, and Trinidad seem to be out of their depth in terms of that. So a lot of work for them to work on, and the consistency has to be there with the bowling as well. We seen that there is a lot of potential in the bowlers, but they have to have that consistency. Firstly, to bowl to a particular field and be as consistent in their line and lengths, so that they can have a repetition of that type of bowling in terms of lines and lengths, so that the captain can maintain a particular field in place to try and defend runs, and then look to take wickets, because we do know that if you put a team under pressure in terms of dot balls, that you can try to prize wickets out that way. And that is some of the things that the Trinidad and Tobago team will have to work on, as well as their catching, of course, and ground fielding.
Yes, it is, and there are plenty of work. Let's just put it that way. They have plenty work to do, and but again, the work starts now for them. And the first thing is to see this series through, and then um, hopefully, with the assistance of the association, be able to probably host more matches against quality opposition. Regional opposition might be there, and then we will see how they will do it with it. So, on behalf of Billy and the entire team here, I'm Ruskin Mark, thanking you so much. And of course, we look forward to your company again. Come tomorrow afternoon. We'll be back here for just about 2 o'clock for game number 2 in the T20 series. It's India 1, Trinidad and Tobago 0. They have 2 to go, and we'll be back here tomorrow with game number 2. We hope you can join us.